Welcome everybody to your fourth and final TWitWoW Quarterly Q&A for the year of 2023. We've got a grand total of 33 questions to answer today. And because I know that we were planning on doing Stardom today, I feel like I should at least explain what happened. I live in an apartment, and our apartment has been dealing with issues where my TV and computer both being on at the same time, as well as my mom's chair, which is an electric, automatic chair, all being plugged in at the same time, cause our breaker to trip pretty much every time within 5 to 10 minutes of them all being plugged in and my laptop and TV both being on at the same time. This is a brand new development. We've been living here for over 2 years now, and we just had someone come to the house yesterday and try to fix it. And previously, this was only happening once, like maybe every few weeks or so, and now all of a sudden today, it's happening every 5 to 10 minutes. So whatever the electrician did made the situation worse. That's why we didn't do Stardom today. We've got somebody hopefully coming in the morning. I don't know if they're even going to be able to fix it though, so we'll just have to wait and see. That being said, for now, we can do Q&A because I can do Q&A without having my TV on. So, that being said, John, how you feeling knowing that we have 33 questions, bud?
It feels like a solid amount. Closing the year out, last Q&A of the quarter before we venture into 2024. Of course, we've also got year-end awards coming up Saturday at 8, or excuse me, Sunday at 8 p.m. And that should be really exciting as well. I've still got a few categories left to tie off, but yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about things, man. So let's dive into these questions. What's our first question?
Well, we've got first set of questions are from Super Blue. He has 15. He takes the full advantage of the limit that we give to our patrons. If you are donating to our Patreon at all, even if it's just $1 a month, we allow you to ask up to 15 questions per quarterly Q&A, and Super Blue pretty consistently takes full advantage of that by using all 15 of his. His first question, how would you rank all the factions of Stardom based on the second half of 2023?
Oh God, second half. I mean, I
Yeah,
think
because that excludes the big cage match and all the build up for QQ that happened, and
I would put
mostly,
QQ second to last only because they
yeah,
did bounce back recently and regain the Goddesses titles with Aphrodite.
yeah,
Club
and
Venus
Oedo
is at the bottom for
ties.
me.
Oh, oh yeah, because like this is like post Jesse, post Xena world here.
Yeah, and Mariah. Like, well, I mean, well, she was
Well, no,
part of the second half
Mariah
more
was
than
still
originally.
around. I honestly, I think I would still, because weren't Mina and Mariah goddesses champs as well during the second half of the year?
I think briefly, yes, they did have a title reign. I think we could count that.
I'm googling the goddesses Stardom Championship. And Club Venus held it from the end of June until mid August. So maybe like 40 something days in what would be considered the second half of the year. And
Yeah,
meanwhile, though, I mean, to be fair, Aphrodite by the end of the year, even if they retain the titles against Team XL, they would still have only held the titles for less than a month. So I think
right.
I would still rank Club Venus above QQ personally.
Yeah, I'm really waffling on that, man, because I hear what you're saying, but then you
The
also,
team I thought you were going to put QQ above was Oedo Tai. I feel like they've done nothing.
I mean, yeah, the hottest person in the faction was Natsuko with her 5-star run this year, but she didn't win the tournament.
See, and
So
I
like,
feel like the hottest person in the faction was just Rena as the future champ,
that's also true. That's also true.
which like
I
that's
I
the
re-
least valuable title in Stardom. So
Okay, so maybe I would put Oedo Tai at the absolute bottom, but I'm really struggling between who goes above who here because with Club Venus, I mean, dude, you had Mina losing in the dark match recently, and like she was the fucking veteran, like in that match, like
yeah,
kayfabe wise, like it's been rough for fucking Club Venus, but it's also been really rough for QQ.
yeah.
So I guess
If
I
you're
would barely
basing
just
your if you're basing your ranking on like upward momentum, it's got to be QQ.
yeah.
So
But no, I think you do make salient points. I think we'll put Club Venus above Queen's Quest, but only barely to me. Like, it really wasn't like a strong, like assertive
You know what?
kind of thing.
Here's how I will determine it. I'm gonna look at the goddess tag league, and whoever had the better record between O2 Line and Moon Venus or whatever Mina and Waka called their team name, whoever had the better record between those two teams, that's the faction I'll rank higher.
All right.
Because I genuinely don't know which one of them had a better record. They were both pretty jobbery as teams.
Yes.
Let's see. O2 Line had 6 points. Moonlight Venus had 4 points. So O2. Okay, so Queen's Quest. We gotta rank Queen's Quest higher above Club Venus.
Okay. Wow. All right.
Plus, again, like the upward momentum. Yeah, it just makes sense.
Um.
God,
Fucking
depressing.
God's Eye. I mean, it's kind of weird this question now because we've just been skipping so much of God's Eye stuff.
I mean, God's Eye might very well be number one.
Yeah, I feel like they rarely lose, and like
Mirai
I don't know.
has been the white belt champion the entire time.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah, they're definitely number one. Is DDM then just number two? Because Julia's been so dominant. I think they still have the artist belts, right? Her, Tekla, and Sakurai. So I feel like
God,
they should
it's
be
weird.
right.
You know what? I think right above Club Venus would be Cosmic Angels because while Tamantha did hold the red belt in or no, actually, see, but that's the thing. Tamantha held the red belt and Cosmic Angels as a team. Like Poi and Ano held the Goddess belts for a while in this chunk of time, but they've also gotten injured and missed a lot of time, and there's just been no red belt for a good amount of time too. So like, it's weird to judge. I kind of almost feel like their accomplishments would put them pretty high too. Maybe number two behind God's Eye even.
Yeah. Hmm.
Because like, what has DDM done? Like Micah made it to the tag league finals and is gonna be challenging for the red belt. So like, maybe if she were to win the red belt at Dream Queendom, we could put DDM. Even then, I still like you're winning the red belt for the first time. Meanwhile, Tam held it for like 3 months or 4 months during the second half of the year. You know.
Yeah.
I think I would
And
have
and
to
again,
say God's Eye 1, Cosmic Angels 2, DDM 3,
that's agreeable to me.
and
I
then
could sign off
Stars
on
is
that.
just smack dab in the middle. They're neutral because they've been doing great work, but they haven't really done too much as far as titles go. I guess we should take into account Mayu and Julia's singles titles, like the New Japan Strong and the IWGP Women's.
Yeah.
Those matter for something. And I think Julia won her title in like August ish,
Yeah.
I think. Do you remember?
No, I don't. I know that Julia's had more defenses. She's been the more prolific champion, mainly because Ghetto's
It was
sexist.
in May.
But
It was
like,
in May
yeah,
or June. Sorry, I'm on Cage Match and they list their shit like the way that my brain isn't used to being reading. So it's like 0507, and that means 5th of July rather than May 7th. So it's July. She won it in July. They've also, you know what? Actually, DDM would be ranking higher than I'm giving them credit for because they've also been artist champs this whole time.
well, that's kind of what I alluded to at the beginning when I said like the art, like they just have a lot of hardware right now, bro, that they have not dropped. So like,
Do we rank
yeah,
them above Cosmic Angels though, knowing that Cosmic Angels, prior to Play and Tam both getting hurt, held the red belt and the goddesses belts? That's a
I mean
tough
that
one
was
for me. Because I do think the red belt ranks way above the New Japan Strong Women's title, and the goddesses belts rank way above the Artist of Stardom title. Like, but they didn't hold it
yeah,
as long either, you know?
yeah.
Ah,
It's I don't know.
plus now they're hurt. Okay, so we'll say God's Eye. Do we even agree anymore that God's Eye has won?
No, because now I'm starting to look at either Cosmic Angels as one or DDM as
Yeah,
one.
and then God's Eye would be 3 because Mirai is the only one in that group that has held a title. It's just that she's held the second most important title in the company for the entire second half of the year.
Yeah.
Gala's here, Abel's here, Rotten Butter's here. Welcome everyone. Glad to have you all. Sorry we're taking so long with this first question. It turned out to be a
Yeah,
little more
I
complex
really
than I
wasn't expecting
realized.
this. I'm ending this right now because this is getting insane. I'm going to say we'll put Cosmic Angels at 1, only
Yeah.
because the belts they had were of more value.
Just to
DDM at
avoid
2.
like recency bias too. Yeah. So Cosmic
Yeah,
Angels 1, DDM 2, God's Eye 3, Stars 4, QQ 5, Club Venus 6, Oedo Tai 7.
perfect. Let's move on.
Next question from Super Blue. How does it feel to go a complete calendar year without live reacting to AEW shows?
Feels fucking amazing, and I have no plans on changing that trend anytime soon.
Hell yeah. Oh
Although I
man.
will,
He said that our last full AEW show was Full Gear 2019 2022.
I'm I'm not gonna leave those memories alone because I wish I could gut them and put AEW out of my memory entirely. So fuck you,
Bro, I
Fuel,
can't
and
wait
fuck
for a
you.
weekend review on Saturday because it's going to be happening after at World's End, and that's just going to be legendary. It's going to be so fucking funny. Holy shit.
I will say, as fucking convoluted as these latest developments that you were kind of briefing me on last night and everything were, seeing Joe stand on MJF with the title was a pretty great visual. I fucking love Joe. They put the title on him, I would not fucking complain at all, but I know that they're setting up a bigger story. I really am starting to believe now Adam might be the devil based on some tweets and stuff I've seen. It's a shame. I low key, my Schadenfreude really wanted it to be Jack Perry. But yeah, fuck AEW. So, yeah.
Next question. How do you
Yeah,
feel
next question.
about Team 4 Star doing the Boo series? I'm guessing he means like the Boo arc in shorts.
I think it's their I mean, I don't want to say it's their IP. I mean, they acknowledge that they, use Dragon Ball's animation stuff. It's
It's
just their
their
voice work, anything else.
brainchild.
Yeah, it's their brainchild. It's their artistic license, with the voice work and everything. They can do what they want with it. And to be quite honest, they were very upfront about, just the burnout they felt as a team, about wanting to take the studio in other directions. I've checked in on them seldomly. I was really hoping for more original content from them, to be honest. I thought maybe we'd even get like an animated series or something from them, similar to like how Rooster Teeth has had Ruby and stuff, or Red versus Blue, but I don't think we've really done anything like that, or I should say, Team Four Stars and anything like that. And I'm hoping one day to see something like that. But yeah, I think this is a nice little treat for the fans that we got. I watched some of the clips and they weren't bad, but I still have incredibly fond memories of the original run. I still go back and watch like isolated clips of my favorite jokes or even just full episodes sometimes. So yeah, I thought it was cool. I didn't look too much into it, and yeah, I'm just hoping that everybody's thriving. I'm really in awe of that whole team. So good for them.
How ironic would it be if Impact went out of business because they went back to being called TNA?
That would be hilarious. Um, but you know what? I feel like TNA is the cockroach amidst a nuclear winter. Like they're never gonna fucking die. And AEW, I
That
think, is
would
right
be
along with them.
genuinely like imagine like this cockroach in the nuclear winter, like you said, and the thing that puts them out of business is not realizing that times have changed and they can't get away with an innuendo for a name anymore and going back to it, and that gets them canceled and they fucked up.
Yeah. Oh my god, we're back. That's the neat thing. You're not.
Dude, that was literally me like 3 times earlier every time I tried to get you to call me and then my power went out again.
Oh wow. Yeah, your breaker was being real Omni Man about it. Oh man. All right. Next question.
Oh, next question. 5 liquids come from your fingers at any time. Which do you choose?
Magma, water, toxic waste. Okay, so magma, water. Let me think of other liquids. Lemonade, orange juice, and acid.
Okay,
Fuck yeah.
okay. Nice, nice. All right. I like the acid idea. That's like, you gave me the idea of like one should be for self defense. I do like that.
Yeah.
I'm
I mean, I got
thinking
that
like,
and the
okay,
magma,
so
bro. I'm not fucking
water
around.
water is the obvious one. Like literally if you have infinite water, you are just set for life. You will never go thirsty because water just springs from your body infinitely. Um I think I want one of them to be oil because then I'm rich.
Nice. I love how your mind works. One finger's for oil, because nothing's more revolutionary than me being rich.
But I mean, dude, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Maybe that would be a bad idea because they would want to milk me.
Well, I mean, but you have so much power now, though. You'd be like, they talk
No,
about
but
the
I
Hatfields
wouldn't. I
versus the
wouldn't have
McCoys.
power though. The power structures wouldn't change. I would just become the product.
But see, not unless, like, it's concealed from people. You can just pass yourself off as some kind of oil baron. You just randomly come in with these barrels. Where did these come from? Where are you mining it? Oh, no, 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 no. My trade secrets. You make the handoff, you get the money, and then when you're secure, then you let the world know, oh yeah, it was my pinky, fucker. And then what are they gonna do about it? Nothing. You're fucking fortified. They talk about the Hatfields versus the McCoys. It's me versus the world now, bitch. Me.
You know,
And
I'm thinking about the
yeah,
logistics of this, and I think I want to go away from just oil, and I want to go to what is the proper name? Um, Gasoline,
okay.
because that's much less viscous, so it would be much faster to flow. So I'd be able to get more faster, so I'd be able to make more money faster, right?
Or just because I'm unhinged, let's hear me out for two
I'm
seconds.
listening.
It's more viscous, so you can be more vicious. Can you imagine
But
the
it's
fucking
less viscous.
efficient?
That was what I said.
Well, it's less viscous, so you can be more vicious. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Like
yeah.
the
That one
range of
also works for
arson that
self-defense.
you can
That's a
commit.
double purpose.
Well, I mean, self-defense and just the arson against the red. Like, oh,
Oh my
nice
god,
mansion you have
that's
there.
true.
Oh my god,
I
my
have a
gasoline
built-in
finger.
flamethrower now.
Like, oh my god, my gasoline finger. It's leaking. No, it's not. It's deliberate. Have a nice life, fucker. And then you set it on fire, and then you cackle while
Yes.
you're doing
I
it. You
just as long as I don't confuse the water and the gasoline fingers, I'm good. I really would like the water finger is the thumb, the gasoline finger is the pinky. I'm never confusing them ever again.
yeah, I don't know which finger, whichever finger has the best thing that I chose, that's the daddy finger. But I
What's the
know
daddy
you and I,
finger?
the daddy finger is like the finger that leads all the other fingers. So probably the pointer finger. It's like, yeah,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
pointing at you. But yeah, so like, you and I would probably get our fingers mixed up at least once. I mean, we're us. It's bound to happen. I would just hope that it wouldn't have disastrous consequences.
Okay.
Uh,
So, thumb is water. That's the easy one cuz then if I'm thirsty, I can just suck my thumb and it's not even that weird.
oh wow. Okay, thumb is water. You stick it with the gasoline.
Pinky
Which
is the
finger's gonna be
gasoline. Yeah, pinky is the
pinky's?
gasoline because that's still going to make me rich because I can still sell gasoline. You can't copyright gasoline. Fuck you. Um, and then the middle three. I'm trying to think. I think. Hmm. What are? I don't want to do oil because it's too thick and viscous and slow to flow. I like the idea of rotten butter's liquid gold, but that's also really really hot because gold has a really high melting point.
Yeah.
So, assuming that these aren't in our like these aren't actually a part of our bodies and that they just come from a magical dimension and they just happen to exit through the magical dimension through our fingers, mercury would be a good one.
Hey, and rotten butter. Listen, he's just naming his fingers. I'm standing by my magma choice. That was on me. He didn't say magma. That was me. So I'm ready to deal
That
with the
is a good
consequences.
point though. I mean, yeah, so okay. So, hmm. 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 I sound like a Minecraft villager. um, I already have the gasoline for money. I don't need another money option. So I'm just gonna go for pleasure. I'm gonna have water. I'm gonna go for milk. Can we make like if we're already dealing with magic as far as our fingers being able to spout liquids out of them? Can we make up liquids as well?
Um, I don't see why
Because I
not.
would make up a version of milk that doesn't have soy in it, that just tastes like regular cow's milk and has the same properties of it without the soy in it.
All right, fair enough.
That'd be nice. That would also get me rich without me needing to really try too hard. And then that's not even what the
Y-
purpose of it would be. That would just be for me, but I would be able to share it too.
Yeah.
Let's see. I guess. I guess. Um. God. Uh. Is that a thing? No. Liquid nitrogen. That's a really good one. Liquid nitrogen would have to be one of them.
Okay.
I like that because like it steams when it touches the air.
Yeah.
So I
Okay.
could I could put that out of my middle finger, and then when I flip someone off, it looks like my middle finger is smoking.
Oh, nice.
That's kind of a cool effect. Plus, like liquid nitrogen is just useful to have around, you know.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
And then, oh no, no, that doesn't count. That's not going to be. It is. Wait, does it say a liquid or a fluid? Um, it says liquids. Okay, it does say liquids. I was gonna try and be tricky there because technically gas is a fluid. It's not a liquid though, and it does say liquids.
Yeah.
So another liquid. Um, what is a useful liquid to have around at all times? Um, hmm. This is really hard for me. I'm really sorry.
That's all right, man.
What were your five again? Water,
I don't even
lava.
remember anymore.
I know you had
Lemonade.
water, lava, lemonade.
Yeah. Water, lava, lemonade, orange juice.
Oh, you just went for like actual drinks then, pretty much after the water and lava.
Yeah. Um, an acid.
Oh yeah, I mean gasoline is an acid, so that I kind of got that covered already.
Yeah. I just meant your prototypical, green acid that you see all the time.
Yeah, the kind that
Shoot
you
it with my
can,
finger.
the kind that some people are
I
immune
want my
to.
middle finger to be the acid finger because when I burn someone's face, that's the best fuck you. Nice.
Rotten Butter's hilarious. He's good. He went in my daily life. I often think, man, it would be great to have some liquid nitrogen right now.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know what? Liquid adamantium. There you go.
look at that. All right, next question.
Next question is do you think Gunther will lose the IC title in the WWE Germany pay-per-view next year? No.
No, let me give a proper answer here because I'm kind of orienting myself for how far in the future he's looking. Because when even is
I think
that
that's
pay
in
per
the
view?
summer. Bash in Berlin. Yeah, it's August 31st. I think
So
he'll lose
that's
it before then.
that genuinely is a ways away. Then I'm not even like being
Honestly, I think there's a
dismissive, but I'm
chance
like,
he'll win the Universal title on that show rather than losing the IC title.
God, I fucking hope you're right because I see him dropping the IC title way before then. At
Yeah, I
that
think he
point,
drops the IC title at Mania, straight up.
I'm thinking that too. I'm very curious who his opponent's gonna be, and then we can revisit it then. But yeah, if he
Logan
would.
Paul? No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Oh, oh, I know. We love you, but please don't do that again.
Oh, but
And I'm
what if it's
asking sincerely.
Okada though?
It's not. No,
I wasn't even
no,
trying to
no,
trigger you there. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I'm
no,
sorry.
no. It's not. Look. You're a sweet little lamb. Okay, we're not. Everybody, we love you. It's me. I'm the problem. It's just we've been held up enough
Wait,
on
did you
finger
just quote
questions,
a
and
Taylor Swift song?
I don't even know if I did it was unintentional, but look, I've just been thinking about what liquids are coming out of my fingers, which factions are above which. We are not going to waste an hour on Okada. If it is Okada, that's a banger, okay? And he's probably winning, but I'm just not convinced. I still kind of hope Sami Zayn, but honestly, if Drew beats Seth at day one and Priest isn't like cashing in for whatever fucking reason, I could honestly see Drew versus Sammy for the world title at Mania, and I don't know where that leaves going through. Maybe Jey Uso. It really depends on who his opponent is what I'm saying. But circle back to what you just said. I do hope you're right that he wins a world title at the Germany paper. Like that would just be insane, and I would fucking love that for him and his newborn child and his amazing fucking wife. Like, oh god, I'm just so happy for him. So yeah, yeah.
I'm
All
a
right.
big fan of Ginny too, by the way.
Yes, Ginny. Ginny
I
is
dude, they
amazing.
kept their pregnancy under wraps as far as I'm concerned. I was not aware that she was pregnant at all.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm glad
It's
because it's a
classy,
very
right?
yeah, it's a private thing, and wrestling journalism sucks as it is, and God knows what would have happened if they would have reported it because fans are fucking weird.
Yeah.
So
All
I'm
right.
happy for Gunther and Ginny, and yeah, just good stuff. Next
Next
question.
question. If not for the British mandate, would the genocide in Israel even be happening right now?
Probably, and I only say that because I mean, while I do lay a lot at Britain's feet, deservedly so, and so should everyone in this whole situation, you know, imperial powers are going to find a way to do their imperialism or their colonialism or whatever the hell. If Britain didn't do it, the US might have still done it. I mean, Joe Biden even said, right? We've gone back to that quote a few times. If Israel didn't exist, we would have had to invent it. So that just tells you that they would have invented something for their broader geopolitical purposes. I think all roads would have led here, mainly because it's not just one nation, it's a bigger structural concept of hegemony, of spreading power, of spreading capitalist ideals and certain, cultural imports, mainly from the quote unquote Western world. And so, yeah, we can lay at the feet of one nation, but it's more of a conglomerate acting in a shared interest. And that's why any axis of resistance, whether it's Palestine, Iran, Yemen with the Houthi resistance has been doing a lot of damage, particularly to the supply line, through the Red Sea for Israel. That's why axes of resistance are important. So yeah, I still think it would have happened, but I don't know what different contours it would have taken if it wasn't a British mandate, but maybe a US one, because you never know.
All
So,
right.
all right, next question.
How screwed is New Japan if Okada leaves them? And honestly, I'm gonna just say just barely, just slightly a little bit more screwed than they are already, because they're already pretty fucking screwed from just incompetence alone. Okada leaving them barely moves the needle as far as I'm concerned.
I so here's where I'm at. Okay, I'm gonna give you two different responses to the same question. I'm gonna give you a response in a universe where Tanahashi wasn't president, and I'm gonna say that that to me is catastrophic because I have not believed in New Japan for a while. However, perhaps overly so, and I could be the first to admit it. I am intrigued by Tanahashi's new position and like any vision that he has for New Japan specifically, and how much authority he even has to enact that vision in the first place. All of that being said, one thing that I admired about the old New Japan, I don't know if that quality is still there anymore, they can take the hits, kind of like how Stardom has shown that it can take the hits and it's doing some necessary restructuring. And they've always got somebody else waiting in the wings, to begin their ascent, however high up the card they're meant to go. Because they survived Nakamura leaving, Shibata leaving, the first time was like a big thing. It was a whole thing, when he came back and had his other run, his redemption and everything. They've shown that they can bounce back. It's a different time though, and I really don't know. I think if Okada does leave, which I'm still not convinced, but my God, if we're talking about it this seriously, maybe I should start thinking about it because I have never heard conversation be this serious about like the fucking ace of another company just being like, yeah, you know what, I'm done. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Really, I'm almost like, and I don't mean this in a sadistic way because I know me and Superior Dom can sometimes riff on each other. I am genuinely curious how a New Japan without Okada reacts to their back that much up against the wall. Because, like, that is a really precarious and really bad situation for them to be in. And I'm just wondering what the response is. Because I feel like everything else they've tried doing, new championships, this and that, it's just all been a blunder and it's been meandering. So I have faith in Tanahashi. I'm curious how much faith everything around him has in him and how much actual authority he has. And if he does have actual authority, I think they can come out of this. If he doesn't, it's looking pretty fucking bleak. I'll say too right now, since we're on the subject of New Japan, I have never seen a more underwhelming Wrestle Kingdom. And I'm not even talking about the card. I'm talking about just fan response to Wrestle Kingdom. People are underwhelmed by this fucking show coming up, bro. There is no excitement.
It's
There
like
is
we were just a couple years ahead of the curve because I feel
yeah,
like your response to like Wrestle Kingdom 16 or 17 is the general fan response to Wrestle Kingdom 19.
yeah. Dude, it is bad, bro. Like, just by fan reaction, Naito Sonata may be one of the worst built up world title matches for a Wrestle Kingdom main event that I've seen since we've like known of New Japan and we've been covering them and talking about them.
Well,
It is,
that's gonna happen when you take somebody who's really interesting and charismatic and attractive, and make him just throw all of those qualities in the garbage to win the world title, and then you put him against a geriatric shell of himself.
yeah. I mean, it is. New Japan needs some kind of a hard reboot, a kind of revolution in thinking and booking. Get
Honestly,
fucking
I would I would not be surprised if Naito won
yeah.
and still didn't get to do his fucking roll call.
I mean, dude, it's I never like being hyperbolic, especially talking about companies, but it's not good for New Japan right now, and I think that's safe to say. It is just not good for them
Bro,
right now.
Alex in chat said, "Not gonna lie, if Sonata wins, I'll be even more disappointed." Like he is ready for the Sonata title run to be over. This is how far we've fallen, dude. Bring back the Golden Mane. God damn it.
Yeah, like bro, it's fucking bad because if people are already wanting the reign to be over after I know you and I lived in a time where people were craving for Sonata to be the man,
Mm-hmm.
you fucked up so bad. Like you fucked up so bad. Um yeah, let's just
God,
move on to the next
honestly,
question
it's
because
funny
yeah.
because well, it's not funny. It's really unfortunate because Alex in chat said that especially with Naito is potentially retiring soon, him and Okada being gone could be really scary. I didn't know about that, but to me, if Naito really is just going to retire and hang up the boots soon, I place the blame squarely on New Japan's shoulders because you had Naito in his prime and you fucking flubbed it. And not only did you flub it, but then you proceeded to not give him a fucking break when his body is clearly beaten the fuck down. And now, rather than giving him a break so that he can get his body right and then come back better than ever, like Orton just did, he's just going to hang up the boots and never come back.
Naito is one of the I mean, if we're having this conversation, I do just want to say my piece about this too. Naito is one of the more tragic stories in wrestling history because you're
Yeah.
talking about a man that could have had the game by the balls, and
And
they
it's like
didn't do it.
when he finally figured it out, they had lost their faith in him and they just did not want to give him anything.
Bro, and that's so fucking disheartening because when he came back from his excursion, like I still hear in my head the excitement and the joy in your voice watching his evolution
Yeah.
and that whole initial run. This dude should have been not only a multi-time champion, but he should have gotten a long ass like
He should have had like
Okada-esque
yeah,
reign.
exactly, like an Okada level reign.
They should have treated him like the fucking man. And I marvel at the fact they never did. In fact, that should have been our first sign that bad things were coming
Yeah.
because that was such an obvious fucking gimme.
But of
And they were just
course,
like,
we
eh.
kept hearing, "Oh, Ghetto books on a 2-year cycle. He's telling stories here. You got to give him time." And by the time he finally got around to telling the story, it was time to tell another fucking story. And the story that was supposed to be concluding got fucking derailed by another one. And it's like, no, this is why like we almost have to start following the PW Gregory philosophy of WWE with New Japan, where you can't just be like, "Oh, I know that something bad happened now," but you just have to accept it because something good is on the way. No, fuck you, give me the good thing now.
Exactly. That's why he's the superior Paul. But yeah, I we could do a whole separate commentary on New Japan, honestly, because I feel like there's so much pent up frustration for me, and we can go through the archives of the good, the bad, and the downright fucking
Well,
ugly.
and
But
that's sort
yeah,
of this is like we're seeing in Naito now the ugly side of sort of the ROH booking philosophy of like their time will come. Like, yeah, their time will come when it's goddamn near too late already.
exactly.
Like, they really already, like, can we also just address that Sonata has been ready since he's like 28 and 29 years old, and they waited until he was like 35 to put the title on him, and now no one cares anymore?
Yeah. I mean, dude, I love Ibushi. And Ibushi, I feel like, was a great get at the time for New Japan. Another thing that also ultimately aged very poorly just because Ibushi went through a lot of
Well,
shit.
and
I
Ibushi
don't
is
think
another one like Naito where they never just gave him enough time off to get his fucking body right. Like that's again, it's back to New Japan fucking up.
that Kami reign could have been a golden age for New Japan if they
Yeah,
had
because
paced him
clearly
properly.
Osprey needed that.
Exactly. But I only mentioned Ibushi because that one G1 where it was him and Sonata in the final, I still feel low key you should have had Sonata win that year
Yeah.
because it was such a compelling matchup, and that's where they had the crazy fucking near fall. For Sonata to come back from all that and still win would have been amazing. But no, like yeah, really looking at New Japan in hindsight, man, what a ball tickler, but never really leaves you satisfied. Jesus Christ.
I feel like the most satisfying stuff that we really did get with New Japan was Ibushi reigning as like when he rose to Kami and won. That was like the pinnacle, and then it was all downhill when he lost to Osprey. Like
Yeah,
that was like you're playing Jenga and the tower collapses on that moment.
god damn. All right, well, I'm ready to get to our next question.
All right, next question. What are the odds of the women main eventing night one of WrestleMania 40 if Punk versus Seth is for the title?
Um,
Honestly, I
damn,
hate to say this, but I'm going to say slim to none. Because Punk
I'm gonna have
probably
to
has a
co-sign.
clause in his contract that he needs to main event WrestleMania.
Oh god, he would be that way. Yeah, I'm gonna co-sign with you. I'm not gonna try and fight that shit with fucking false optimism
Low
bullshit. Like,
key, I feel like it's more likely that Roman gets more of a filler match at WrestleMania and doesn't main event than Punk not main eventing Mania this year. I feel like Punk is a fucking lock. He is 100% main eventing Mania. Honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised if Punk main evented night two of WrestleMania this year because of A, how petty he is, and B, like I said, I genuinely think that that's going to be a part of his contract.
yeah,
And
Jesus
C, the
Christ.
Bloodline storyline really does seem to have cooled off. And it's okay to have ebbs and flows. And if in an ebb you happen to be defending your world title on a WrestleMania and not main event over a match of that magnitude, I don't think that that's something that would be like a shameful thing.
Bro, I I agree with you. Like, I'm not like hemming and hawing because I disagree. I'm more just thinking as we get closer to Mania, I wonder if any reports are gonna come out about like tension backstage because I could see Roman, and I'm gonna be the guy that says it. I hate politicians. I hate people that pull rank. If Reigns was to pull rank on Punk, though, I would
Dude,
say he kind of deserves it, honestly.
I would, dude, that would be hilarious.
Like Roman, I have to imagine has been a big part of making WWE a fuck ton of money the past couple quarters. Like we've been reading about how they are making so much fucking money. I'd be curious to know how much of that is going to the wrestlers. Just that's the leftist in me because
Not
I'm
nearly as
still
much as
guessing.
should be. Let's just put it that way.
Exactly,
I mean, dude, you
exactly.
know what's really sad is that like there were news reports coming out after um what's the name of the company that bought WWE now?
Um, ever wait, wasn't oh fuck no, because trying to think.
TKO. TKO.
TKO, that's what. Okay, TKO, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So there were basically reports coming out that TKO actually pays their MMA fighters a significantly higher percentage of their annual revenue than WWE pays their wrestlers.
Jesus Christ.
And like we're talking like not like per, but like if you lump all of the fighters together, their combined total like, you know, salary that they make combined, all of them combined together is like more than triple that of all of WWE's wrestlers combined all together.
Yeah,
Percentage
I
wise,
just
percentage of revenue wise.
yeah,
Like I
I
think I
just
saw
want to
something
cut.
about like WWE's was like 4 or 5% and theirs was like 15 to 17%.
Right, right. I just want to cut in real quick. I don't want to normalize this, Amari. I will just say when it's Q&A, always best to get your questions in before we go live. We don't really, take solicited questions like from the live chat. But since we're just touching on Punk, I mean, I've been apathetic about it. I think he's a hypocrite and a piece of shit. I'm rooting for him to fail, and I guess that just makes me a horrible person. But yeah, I just thought I'd answer your question very quickly. But please, in the future, and this goes for everybody, just try and get your questions in before we go live because we do just focus on the questions that are in our personal queue for these commentaries. That's
Yeah,
why I
that's
know
that's
I've
why
seen.
I'm always trying to ping everybody in the Discord and let them know.
No, I mean you do a great job, man. I'm just letting everybody know on my side of things because I have been seeing like other questions, and it's like just get the questions in because we really do just want to give attention to the queue because you can already see how much time we've spent and we're still on Super Blues questions. So we just want to give respect and due diligence to the stuff that's in the queue. With all of that said, what's our next question?
Our next question is, what are the positive things you want to see from Punk's return to WWE?
Oh God. Him going away, him ending that it, or I should say it ending. Um yeah, I really do not care about him. I think he's just so fucking toxic. If he main events a night of WrestleMania after this discussion we had, I might even cackle because it's just so fucking obvious.
Part
Um
of me really, really wants to see him with a mic against Roman now with a mic. And
yeah.
I just really like, I really desperately need Roman to make a reference to making Punk look strong. I just need it, man. I
Yeah.
fucking need it. Like, I want Roman to say, I'm going to smash you and I'm going to stack you and I'm going to get the 3 count. But don't worry, Phil. I'll make sure to make you look real strong. And then wink at the camera like, God damn it.
It would be so no, I love your idea because that's perfect. For me, it's so contrived, I know it would never work, but when he's like, "I'm gonna smash you," and you're gonna feel like you went through real glass, like, I want him to just shove the pettiness into his face. Just shove it
You're gonna feel like you
into his
were in a car accident and that windshield's made of real glass, son.
face. And you'll be crying a river after I pin you for the 3 count.
Oh my god.
Foster, I unironically love that idea. Roman and Seth become friends again by hating Punk.
Which is just so hilariously ironic because the original idea was for the Shield to be like CM Punk's bodyguards.
I'm gonna say something I'd say perfectly within bounds, but I'm just feeling really unhinged right now because I hate his face so much. When he enters the Royal Rumble, I want him to be treated the way Daniel Puder was by Guerrero, Benoit, and Holly, and
Yes.
everybody just takes turns beating the fuck out of him, and then they all, as a unit, however many it is, 3, 4, 5, all 29, because maybe we won't get an elimination until all 30 are in the ring. Never happened before, but you never know. Just all of them gang up and beat the fuck out of that little shit and then throw him over the top rope. I want to see his face when another dream of his dies. I need it. I need to see him fail at everything he strives for
Oh,
because he's a loathsome fuck.
yeah.
God.
Are you
He
ready?
is yeah. But please, let's move on to the next question.
Why isn't there a Black Friday or Cyber Monday for paying bills, food, meds, and so on?
Do you not know where we are?
Can I give a very sincere answer to this?
Of course.
Okay, so Super Blue, I'm actually really glad that you asked this question because it tells me that you have got your mind in the right place. You're thinking about
Yes.
things the right way. Think to yourself, why wouldn't those companies, the bill, you're paying your bills, why wouldn't the electric company or the cable company or the internet company or the grocery stores or the pharmaceutical companies and so on, why wouldn't they reduce their prices for Black Friday or for a designated day of the year, right? Why are they not incentivized to do that? It's because you're buying their shit no matter what because it's a necessity, right? It's
Yeah.
required. So then why do all of these other companies do it? They lower their prices because it incentivizes people to buy their shit. It's literally like, oh, well, I'm not going to buy that $50 item now, but when it goes on for sale for $30, maybe then I will buy it. And you guess what? That item that was $50 and is now $30 cost them about $8 to make. So they're either going to make $42 a profit or $22 a profit, but either way, they're making profit. And guess what? If you don't buy it at all because it's out of your price range, they're making $0 a profit. So by lowering their prices, they're actually extracting more money from poor people than they otherwise would, which is why it's called Black Friday in the first place. The black is what color the stock gets after that day. It's going from red, meaning negative, to black, meaning positive. They are going from being in negatives as far as like their yearly net, you know, you know, well, it's not. It's how much they pay versus how much they bring in. It's the pay, how much how outgoing versus incoming is going from favoring the outgoing to favoring the incoming because of Black Friday, because more people are buying their shit because it's on sale. So they're making more profit on that day than any other day of the year. Because, again, they're basically taking advantage of people who can't afford their shit at full price and still making a fuck ton of profit off of it because they're still, the prices are just so jacked up normally that when it's on sale, quote unquote, it's still getting them a pretty nice chunk of change profit wise. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes.
So, like, that is why Black Friday and Cyber Monday exist. It's not because they're being generous to us, giving us deals, being like, oh, look, guys, we're losing money by doing that. No, they're still making money. They're making slightly less money per item sold, but they're selling so many more units of those items because of the lower prices that it makes up for the loss per item sold relative to the number. Like that's just literally it's kind of, I'm glad that you asked this question, Super Blue, because now it gave me an opportunity to enlighten you and anyone else that didn't know all this stuff. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm not going to top that, so we can move on to the next question.
In what way, shape, or form would CM Punk not be a sellout for returning to WWE?
There's none. I mean, he did it. He did the selling out thing. I mean, God, his first promo in AEW, he doesn't say WWE explicitly, but he implicitly says that was the place where I got sick.
Yeah,
And I wasn't going to get better by going to the place that made me sick in the first place. And you went to the place that made you sick in the first place.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
there's just no way to square it, Super Blue.
He
Like,
also pretty implicitly stated that they killed his spirit for pro wrestling
yeah.
and was
Um,
talking about how, like, when he left Ring of Honor, his pro wrestling career ended because his sports entertainment career began. He didn't say that part, but it was implied. And now
yeah.
he's back to pro wrestling. So again, he's like kind of again dunking on WWE, saying that it's not pro wrestling.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say this too and get ahead of this just because this is a trend I'm noticing. Like, the last few questions have really emphasized Punk. Super Blue, I don't know how you feel about Punk, but I want you to know, like, if you're a fan of Punk and you're enjoying his run, that's fine, man. Like, I don't know if there's like some kind of anxiety on any of these questions, like, oh, will they think less of me or anybody that is but no. Wrestling's meant to be enjoyed. Look, I just feel like he's an asshole, but that's me. But then again, look at my history of some of my faves, right? I have a lot of answering to do too, fucking clearly, and I've always been honest about that. So no, we don't hold it against people like whoever their faves are. And I'm not saying Punk is Super Blue. I'm just saying proactively if he is, don't sweat it, and that goes for anybody. If you're enjoying Punk's run, great. I'm happy for you. I just can't wait for him to fucking leave. I honestly, like, if I was to give my unvarnished opinion on CM Punk, I think he's a blight upon the wrestling business. I used to be a huge fan of the dude. And I think that's also where a little bit of this comes from is I do feel a bit bitter and jaded that I used to be so into this dude. And he's not nearly as principled as he'd like to believe that he is to me. So yeah, I don't think to circle back to the question, there is no way that you could slice it or present it where he's not a sellout because he made such a big thing about being the Maverick, about speaking against WWE and standing oppositionally to them. And, like he even said at the end of that one Raw promo, which I thought was very mid, I'm not here to make friends, I'm here to make money. Well, I'm not going to stop you from making money, but I also don't have to like what's happening for me. So that's really where I am with it.
All right, so then we have our next question, which is basically he wants us to preview and predict Wrestle Kingdom 18, but then he also asked if Kevin Kelly leaving New Japan boosted our odds of watching the whole show.
I mean, I haven't even had conference with Ashton. I have half a mind, like if I'm honest, just on my side. to even just skip Wrestle Kingdom. Like, what the
Same,
fuck is even
dude. I,
going on
I
the
was
show?
literally gonna say I feel like it's more likely that we would watch none of the show than all of it.
I'm telling you from where I sit, I'm not inclined to give New Japan my money for a card that I have not seen a single person be excited about. Like
There
when
is
fellow
literally
fans,
one
yeah,
match on the entire show that gets me out of bed, and that's Okada Danielson too.
and dude, one match does not a commentary make because
No,
you and
I'm
I
not
have this kind of
paying.
unspoken rule.
Even
Yeah,
if it was, even if it was like, even if it was only $5, I don't think I'm paying $5 for one match.
no, like you already know that I'm trying to save more money going into the new year. I'm not trying to needlessly subscribe to stuff. Like just to give a little bit of inside baseball to you guys in my life, I unsubscribed from Disney Plus recently, and that's a service I actually know that I would use regularly, but the price is too high. New Japan, the price point is decent, fine. I mean, Ashton went on a whole little mini thing recently about the beating that the Japanese yen is taking, but the content just does not speak to me.
No,
It doesn't. Um,
I think we might just. I mean, let's go ahead and do preview predictions real quick. So they always do their New Japan Rumble. This time, like the King of Pro Wrestling Championship is really weird because basically the way that it works is there is a new King of Pro Wrestling champion crowned every year in that match, and they defend the title throughout the year, and like each new champion that's crowned defends the title, whatever. But only the person who is holding that championship at the end of the year counts.
yeah,
Like Taichi is going to probably end 2023 as the KOPW champion, so he is just considered the King of Pro Wrestling champion of 2023, even though he's been like holding it on and off. Like he lost it to Show at one point. He won it from Shingo, who held it for the first third of the year. Like, yeah, like it's weird. It's fucking weird. But there's gonna be another New Japan Rumble to crown, or actually, the New Japan Rumble is to determine who will be in the match that will determine the provisional champion. And then there'll
right.
be the final four of the New Japan Rumble. I don't think I want to even bother trying to predict that at this point. So let's just skip that because it's a pre-show thing anyway, and they haven't announced the participants, so why even bother? So let's get to
Okay.
the actual card. Bullet Club War Dog. You probably heard me giggle a little bit there. Bullet Club War Dogs, Clark Connors and Drilla Maloney are the current IWGP Heavyweight Junior Tag Team or IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, and they are defending those titles against Catch 22, which is TJP and Francesco Akira.
Okay. Um, junior tag titles from my memory
They
get
flip a
kind
lot
of
at
hot
Wrestle
potatoed.
Kingdom, yeah,
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with TJP's team.
yeah. I'm gonna agree, but man, remember when those titles were fun?
Yeah,
Remember when
yeah.
those titles were contested by like the Time Splitters and Red Dragon and the Young Bucks and it's goddamn how far they've fallen. So then we get to the New Japan World Television Championship. That's ZSJ defending against Tanahashi.
I like ZSJ and Tanahashi together, but I mean Tanahashi, much like Naito, just dealing with a lot of broken down stuff, and that's why
How
I'm glad
close
to hear
to
Tanahashi
50
about
is he
transition.
nowadays?
I mean, he's got to be really close, right? I
47.
mean, has to. All right, so actually, that's a little further away than I would have guessed. I'm gonna go with ZSJ just retaining, especially if Tanahashi's making this transition to president. I don't even know how that's gonna curtail like his in ring presence, but he doesn't need to be winning titles at this stage of his career. So ZSJ.
Uh, so then we get to a match that actually does get me out of bed. I didn't realize that this was on this card. So there are actually two matches on this show that get me out of bed. Yota Tsuji versus Yuya Uemura.
Ooh, hoping Suji wins, and I think I will just go with Suji ultimately. But
I haven't even
yeah,
seen Uemura since he's come back, but I remember liking him more than Tsuji when they were both young lions, so I'm going to pick Yuya.
all right, fair enough.
Next up, Umino and Kaito Kiyomiya versus House of Torture, which is Evil and Narita.
Jesus Christ, go Team Kaito. Fuck House of Torture.
Jesus Christ. Umino and Kiyomiya have got to win that. If they don't, they're just living embarrassment for the entire year in my mind.
Yeah, because that tag match screams Wrestle Kingdom. Can you
Bro,
just feel the urgency in this card?
can we please get Tama Tonga out of the never openweight division? He's challenging for the title again at Wrestle Kingdom against Shingo.
Jesus Christ.
You know what? You know what? Because Ghetto is still booking and that hasn't changed, and I'm just gonna go for the travesty of it. I'm picking Tama Tonga to win it. Fuck it.
Yeah, I'll co-sign. I'll co-sign.
All right. Uh, Jesus fucking. It doesn't get better, by the way. Bishamon,
Yeah.
which is the team name of Goto and Yoshihashi, are defending the IWGP Tag Team Championship and the New Japan Strong Openweight Tag Team Championship, both. Or no, actually, no. This is a winners take all tag team match. Bishamon are the IWGP Tag Team Champions, and they're the other team in this, which is the Gorillas of Destiny, but not really, because it's fucking Hikuleo and ELP.
What?
They're calling themselves the Gorillas of Destiny now, and they are the New Japan Strong Openweight Tag Team Champions, and the winner of this match takes all, so they're gonna get all the titles.
I don't want Yoshihashi to have anything, but honestly, I prefer that team over like I don't know.
Hikuleo and ELP.
It's such a weird combo. What the fuck?
Based exclusively on Goto and Yoshihashi not wanting to travel to the US, I'm picking Gorillas of Destiny to win here.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Yeah, I'll co-sign again.
That's speculation. I don't know anything.
I mean, you're probably right.
I'm just
Can't say I
guessing
blame
because
them.
I don't think they like. I feel like they never work New Japan Strong like ever.
Right.
Jesus. Oh my God, we're doing this again too. Hiromu Takahashi defending the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship against El Desperado.
Like
Bro,
Despy. I'll go
bro,
Despy.
I just realized Master Wato isn't even on this card.
I don't want to watch this fucking show, man. Like, cause I don't want to enable them and make them think that this is okay. Like,
I
oh,
hope
we got more money.
subscriptions go down year to
Dude,
year.
you and me both. What the fuck is this? What the fuck are you saying to me right now? Okay, I'm picking Despy. Who are you picking?
Isn't there a whole thing where Hiromu has never successfully defended the? Or no, actually, no, he just did last year. Actually, never mind. Yeah, I'll pick Despy too. Fuck it.
All right,
Okada Danielson. Okada's got to get his win back.
definitely Okada.
And then Sonata Naito. I'm picking Naito.
You know what? I'm gonna pick Naito too. This thing fucking sucks.
That's the
The
whole
fuck
card.
is this?
That's the whole card. Two good matches. Two good matches. Suji Uemura and Okada Danielson too. And even with
And
Okada Danielson too, we know who's winning.
yeah, and like for me, I like ZSJ and I do like Tanahashi and their chemistry, but like Tanahashi's gotten older now, and their early matches, like when
If it
when when
was
Zag won, yeah,
2023 ZSJ versus 2017 Tanahashi, I'd be getting out of bed for that.
yeah,
But it's
yeah.
2023 Tanahashi too, because time works that way.
I feel like I'm in bed, but my head's propped up so that I can watch it
Exactly.
like cozy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of where I am in this match.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
If I had one of those Tempur-Pedic beds that could move around, I would make my back of my bed elevated.
I can't even begin to express to you people how much of my ass that entire card can eat. And it's a very petite ass, but I'll tell you, like, I'm just gonna keep shoving it fucking in there and be like, no, you had me eat all this, you're eating all this. This sucks. That card is ass. That card is fucking atrocious. That card honestly makes me hate myself that I like give any kind of a sideways look to pro wrestling at all. What the fuck is that card? Jesus Christ.
Next question? Actually, no, I want to
Yes.
finish answering that one. Does Kevin Kelly leaving New Japan boost my odds of watching the whole show? Really, it doesn't, because first of all, Kevin Kelly was always awful. I never liked him, and we still watch the shows anyway because Kevin Kelly's existence on a show does not determine whether I watch the show or not. The quality of the card does. And I just really wanted to get a fuck Kevin Kelly in there.
Yeah. Proud of you, bud. Proud of you.
All right,
All right.
penultimate
Now we go on.
penultimate Super Blue question: is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Yes.
Yes. I'm just gonna say yes.
And
Fuck this
finally,
debate.
finally,
Yeah.
how do you feel about Jonathan Majors getting fired, and what should Marvel do with Kang?
It's accountability.
Yep.
I mean, John Boyega's right there if you want to keep doing Kang. Ashton's been saying it, like I said it I think a while back, when it was more speculation. I don't know if I said it on a recording or if it was in like one of our Discord
I think you
meetups.
said it before me, honestly.
I know I floated it very early, and, like, Javaris and you jumped on it immediately. I distinctly remember that. And then, yeah. So, like, we saved Marvel. At least we saved this arc. I'm not expecting any checks, but no, fuck Jonathan Majors.
The thing
And
is, they
I'm
don't
disappointed.
have to go forward with Kang because the end of Loki season 2 did a beautiful job of writing the character off completely if they want to treat it that way.
Yeah, and now you could do another villain like Galactus or
Doom.
I was gonna say Doom, but I didn't want to be like too biased. But no, like with Jonathan Majors, like again, it's just another disappointing, upsetting thing because he was a piece of shit. I believed him for like a moment when stuff came out, like like oh, were the cops like profiling him and stuff, which is not something to fuck with, right? Because we have to always acknowledge too, we live in a carceral society,
Yeah.
a white supremacist society that criminalizes the black body, black men especially, do not get talked about enough in some ways because they are treated as a threat by a lot of police because of the stigma of black male bodies as, hyper violent, hyper aggressive, hypersexual, like, beastly in a really succinct manner of speaking. And Majors does nothing for any of those causes. In fact, actually, he hurts them considerably by being a piece of shit. Because now, any fucking racist, which most cops are, I guarantee you there are a lot of Nazis or white supremacists in your local police department, and be like, oh, well, this is why we do what we do, see? So that no guys like Jonathan Majors get off the hook or what. It's like, it's a rationalization. And you should never give that to the fucking enemy. And then also it hurts on an aesthetic level because I liked Jonathan Majors as an actor. Beyond his great stuff as Kang, I fucking love Lovecraft Country. And
Yeah.
he's a big part of that fucking series. So thank you, Jonathan. I fell in love with your talents only for you to be a piece of shit. And this keeps happening to me, and this keeps happening to a lot of people. So I guess we just need to learn to adopt a critical distance. But yeah, no, I do not give a shit about him because it should happen to everybody that does this shit. This is what accountability looks like. And you know what the fucked up thing is? And I'll say this too, just so that I can stay true to my core beliefs. I still want to believe Jonathan Majors can change. I still want to believe that, like, if he would just do the fucking process, really do the introspection and the work, he could change. And I don't know how his change should affect the culture. Like, should he be allowed to act again or this and that? But he won't change. That's the thing. Kevin Spacey still hasn't fucking changed. If anything, I'm really starting to wonder, like the conspiracy theorists, is he having his accusers fucking taken care of? Because they keep fucking dying and nothing can really stick to him. But he did that weird Frank Underwood once a year Christmas video, but he did it this year with fucking Tucker Carlson. Like these
Oh,
people,
you're kidding.
dude, it's real. It's real. It's real, and it fucking broke me when I saw it. Because Kevin Spacey was another one. I have never heard you make a sound like that. That was like, wow. Life has put us both through it, huh? But Kevin Spacey was another one. Before all the shit hit the fan, I loved his character of Frank Underwood. I loved his
Yeah.
work. I'm like, this dude's a fucking beat. And then all that shit happened. And you know
I
what?
mean,
Fuck the
dude,
whole lot of them.
the usual suspects. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. God damn it. God fucking damn it. So yeah, to circle back to your question, I'm happy Jonathan Majors is being held accountable. I'm proud of Marvel for honestly like making that decision because I know that they haven't had it easy lately with a lot of people kind of like rejecting their more recent stuff because it's been rushed and this and that. And then Marvel too as a company for that should be held accountable because that just runs afoul of really questionable labor practices. But let's see what they do in response. I'm thinking Galactus now. That's what I'm thinking, but we'll see. Um,
Oh,
if you have anything you want
God.
to add, we can move on to the next question.
I'm just frustrated. I can't believe that shit.
Oh, what? The Kevin Spacey Tucker Carlson thing?
Yeah, yeah. But let's move on. Next up, we got one question from Mark, and he basically just wants to know once Bailey is a face, what they should do with their theme, with her theme. If they should keep the current one, debut a new one, go back to a previous one, etc., etc.
I almost wonder if you could pull off a remix with this theme and the Hugger theme. But
Oh, that could be interesting.
but here's the thing: if you want the truth from me, and then I'll let Ashton answer because I feel like we might have a different answer on this. I would just want Bailey to have a whole new face character and just keep evolving. I wouldn't want her to go back to the Hugger. Maybe go back to like the spirit of the Hugger, being loving and supportive of people and
Yeah.
open to them, but find a new face identity, which would then entail a new face theme. And yeah, I'm not going to pass up the opportunity to emphasize face So,
Would she
how are
have a
you
new
feeling about it?
face finisher too?
Oh god. You know what? She should. That would be huge. Yeah. Alright. Do you agree, or what are your thoughts on this?
No, I agree. I agree. We have Rotten Butter's first question next, though.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Oh boy!
You know what?
I
I'm
watched
gonna
Frozen and Frozen 2 in the last week with my mom, and they were
I
great.
saw you post that in the Discord. That was so wholesome.
We also
Uh,
watched Monsters Inc. and Monsters University, and we watched the first episode of the show Monsters at Work, which we didn't even know existed until we looked it up.
yes. Um, God. Obviously, you and I have done our standard gaming stuff. Um,
Big Mouth Season 7 was in October.
oh God, yeah, because we're doing quarterly now, so we have to think all the way back. Yeah. Oh my God. Um, musicians I've liked, like Drownouts dropped a few new things. Mosaic says they're coming out with new music, but that's not until next year, so I'm
Oh,
curious what they'll be coming out with.
we watched the Barbie movie, and it was fantastic.
Ashton really loved the Barbie movie. I enjoyed it, but I wasn't like super enthused, and his mom hated it. It seemed like, I mean, maybe that's too strong, but she seemed
Did
very
you hate the
unenthused.
Barbie movie? She didn't care for it, she said.
Yeah, that's why I kind of backed off of hating because I knew it was too strong, but unenthused is definitely fair.
Yeah.
Because yeah, every time I get through, I was just like, it happened. Um, did a lot of Christmas movies. We did Klaus. We did
Blue
Noel.
Beetle.
Oh my, you mean the greatest fucking superhero movie ever? Yeah, we did fucking Blue Beetle. That was amazing. Loved it. Best thing DC's come out with. I want more of that. More of
Above
that, please.
Peacemaker?
Honestly, yeah. Honestly, yeah. I
Nice.
love the messaging. I thought he was so fucking likable. I love that fucking family. Even when they annoyed me, like I quickly got over it because you gotta be human and humans are flawed. And I think they still were more likable than not. The fucking even the scarab, like how they kind of had an arc, and it was like, oh, we're all family now. We're not killers. It's like, oh my god, yeah. I thought this was gonna be like a thing where you're just always like, man, it could be so much better if you would just bend, but no, you bend, and that's so exciting to me. No, it was a great fucking
And then
movie.
the way the Scarab was
Great.
speaking Spanish by the end too, that was awesome.
I know. It's like, yes. Oh god, no, it was a beautiful movie. Let me ask you this quarter, because I feel like My Adventures with Superman has been done for a while, right? So that's way beyond the pale of this quarter. Because I know we
Oh, that's a
finished
good
that a while back.
question.
Yeah, Rotten
That
Butter.
yeah,
Don't tell
that
us.
ended in August.
Oh wow, so yeah, that is
The
beyond the
last
pale.
episode was September 1st, and we did our last Q&A September 27th or 8th.
Okay. Maybe that show's just on my mind because honestly, I'm pretty psyched for season two, and for me to say that about anything Superman related, nicely done, Adult Swim, nicely done. Um, let's see. Uh, I've rewatched some Atlanta clips. God, that show is so good. And speaking of rewatching clips, I watched a great a video essay which led me to watching some clips by the YouTuber Jose. Just Jose. He's got the little blue jay as his YouTube pick. It's kind of his distinctive feature. But he does these video essays on TV series. I watched one he did on The Nanny, most of it, and then I watched, which was close to 2 hours, the retrospective he did on Arrested Development. And
What? Oh, that's cool. I want to watch that.
dude, it's great. I will say though, um, oh god, wait, I don't want to get her name wrong. Just bear with me, people, because I want to give her the proper respect. I can't believe I'm like blanking on her fucking name. Um,
Maybe?
let's see. No, 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 not Jessica Walter. Jessica
Oh,
Walter, who
okay.
played Lucille Bluth. Jessica Walter, who just phenomenal.
Yeah.
I felt so bad for her because late in the retrospective, they talk about how Jeffrey Tambor, when his shit came out and he got Me Too'd, um, they talked about like what a difficult person he was to work with. And there was this New York Times interview that got released. Yeah, I guess to promote, I think it was season 5 at the time of Arrested Development, because you know how they had that whole Netflix resurgence and stuff. And they asked about it, and like Will Arnett, the guy that plays just the main Bluth, the quote unquote normal one, but he's
Oh,
also,
George Michael.
because
Or just
yeah,
no, just
George
Michael,
Michael,
just Michael.
just
Because
Michael, yeah,
George
Michael,
Michael was Michael Cera's character.
exactly. So, um, David Cross, Michael, who I'm blanking on the actor's name there. All these people, like all the men,
Jason Bateman.
Jason Bateman, that's right. Will Arnett, I don't think was there for this, and I was happy about that. I am disappointed in David Cross though, because everybody seemed to like rush to the defense of Timbre. But like Jessica Walter wanted to say something, and dude, when you hear the audio from the New York Times interview, it's heartbreaking because you could tell she's fighting back tears, like she wants to keep it together. But she says, like, "I've never been yelled at like that," because he yelled at her on set. That was the whole thing. Like, he blew up at her over some scene or some bullshit. And she said, "I've been in the industry 60 years. I've never been yelled at like that, but I forgive him." So she did the thing, right? Where it's like, "Oh, gotta center the man's feelings, or the project's gonna,
Yeah,
get all this."
of course.
So it's like I forgive him, and I'm saying it for the times. And like Timber didn't even say like, "Oh, I'm sorry," whatever. It was always that half-hearted apology bullshit. So yeah, Arrested Development, great show. I think it was too ahead of its time, but it led me to rewatching clips from my favorite character, Tobias Funke, who is definitely a fucking mood. And yeah, just goddamn, we're having a fire sale. Oh, the burning.
Would you like to try that again in a different way?
No. Bro, I actually, because in the compilation that I watched, they cut out that part when they show like the fire scene. So I hunted down that original scene just for that part, because to me that's the best part. He does all
He
that.
just wants to come off as confident, so he just thinks about it and he's just like, no, I don't.
But then, but then, dude, honestly, another part that I appreciate more upon rewatching it, because just going through my club journey, the guy comes out, obviously, God, I'm blanking on everybody's fucking name, but his wife, like, she recognizes him. She's like, "Oh, we went to high school together." And like, you can tell, because the narrator, who's Ron Howard, I actually got reminded of that thanks to Jose's video essay. The narrator is like, "Oh, she showed up to appear supportive." I love the wording of that, to appear
Lindsay.
supportive. That's right, Lindsay. She showed up to appear supportive, and it cuts to her at one point when he is doing his audition and he's overacting and he's like, "Amazing! This isn't a fever." Like, he's just doing everything, and she just got this look on her face like, "Oh fuck." But then she's like, "Oh wait, your company, they're having a fire sale?" And she said, like, she knew what she was doing.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. She was
to,
100% auditioning.
Tobias just behind her is like, "God damn it. I'm so tired of crying in the shower." But that's what he does. They go home and he's like, "Will you excuse me, please?" And he's biting the soap so he doesn't scream because he's spiraling in his own face. I fucking love that. Tobias Fuke, honestly, one of these days, and I'd really have to think about it, I want to put together at least a top 5 list. I know I could do 5 of my favorite TV characters. He's in there. I fucking love Tobias. Oh my
Roger
god.
Danish, that was the guy's name.
Ryan Roger Danish.
Because remember, he and Lindsay were the ones that were voted the best hair in high school.
Yeah. Lindsay
They
Blue.
literally showed
It's
earlier in that
huge.
episode, they were looking at an old high school yearbook and they showed Roger Danish and Lindsay as having the best hair. And then he showed up later in the episode.
Yeah.
And then Lindsay's all like, South Coast Boutique, they're having a fire sale?
Dude, there's a later clip, because again, this goes back to the compilation, where he's like auditioning to be a cop. And he's like, I know these mean streets like the back of my hand, and I'm the last. And the way he says last, it's like, oh, come on, dude. Who's gonna be intimidated by that? What are you doing? Oh man, god damn. No, David Cross. David Cross even said in interviews they originally wanted him to be Joe. And he's like, "No, I'm Tobias." Like, you read the Tobias, he's like, "No, this is my character right here." I'm so glad he fought for it. But yeah, anyway, to get back on track of Ron Butter's question, um,
That,
so clear,
honestly, that one episode of Arrested Development that you were just talking about with the fire
Y-
sale,
y-
that has got to be
Yeah.
one of the funniest single episodes of any sitcom I've ever seen in my entire life. Because that was the same fucking episode with the there's always money in the banana stand.
Yeah.
That was the same episode as that storyline. That's crazy.
Was it also the same episode? Because I don't know if that's what set Tobias on his arc in the first place. I don't think it was, but where Lindsay, because God, she just knows how to stab him where it hurts. She's like, but you've never actually had an audition. Well,
Yes, yes,
excuse.
yes, yes. That was the one. That was the fucking one, dude. That was even the one where they did the no touching. That was the no touching episode too.
Oh God,
Where
that
like there were
episode had
two different
everything.
instances earlier in the episode where there were touches that were like more gentle touches, and then later on when Michael reveals that he burned down the banana stand, George goes to strangle him, and we get the no touching, no touching, no touching, no touching.
Oh, dude. Speaking of George and like that whole thing, they show another clip in the compilation where Tobias is in the prison and he tries to get through to George, and at one point he's like, "Oh, your anger, it's just fear," and he hugs him, and George's like, "Get your fucking hands off me!" And then Tobias is like, he starts singing, "Somewhere over the rainbow is another rainbow." I can't. I can't. I just what a perfect fucking character he is. when he was when he was auditioning to direct the fucking high school play, I can barely even speak now. I'm laughing so hard. And he's like, "Oh, you're gonna let him do it? That just makes me want to throw up all over your head, sir." And then he like starts speaking Shakespearean to the guy, and the principal is just so done with it. He's like, how do you feel about this?" And he's like, "Yeah," and I'm not gonna repeat exactly what he said because I'm pretty sure it was low key homophobic. But he's like, "Yeah, let him do it." And Tobias is
Dude,
just like, "Huzzah!"
that was
You're
literally the second episode of the entire series. I don't understand how they can write an episode that fucking perfect that early in a show.
dude, again, too ahead of its time, I think, with a lot of the stuff that it did. But to get back on track, um, so yeah, I did that. Like I said, new music had dropped here and there. Um, God, I've done quite a bit of reading, but I always gloss over that stuff. Um, been watching some Ruthless Aggression era stuff this quarter for sure. It's funny when Tavares is like Paul Heyman is for the streets because I've watched the angle between Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar where Paul Heyman cheated on the Big Show. Well, first he cheated on Lesnar with Big Show, but then he cheated on Big Show with Kurt Angle, but then also kept Big Show in the family. I mean, my God, Paul, Jesus
He's
Christ.
such a
Um,
slut.
I know. And Big Show even corners him one segment. He's like, "You were repping me. You were repping Kurt Angle at the same time at Armageddon," which is true. He was. And it was all part of a master plan to screw Brock Lesnar again. Paul Heyman has issues. He's got other stuff going on. We finished Rick and Morty season 7.
Oh yeah,
Um,
we did, didn't we? What else were we watching at that time? Goosebumps, which was kind of mid, honestly.
I enjoyed it. I'm excited for a second season. I think the first half was stronger than the second half, though, for
That's
me.
my thing right there. Is like they really need to get their timing better because the first half was actually during October, and then the second half was after Halloween was over, and we stopped caring.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like,
Um,
come on, guys, get your shit together.
Speaking of Halloween and things that just like I don't know how they're gonna do all this. My sister and I we watched Chucky. The latest
Oh,
season. We caught
nice.
all up on Chucky. I'll tell you, it's gotten progressively better per season.
Oh
I'll
wow,
give the
that's
team
cool.
full credit for that. Yeah, like I'm really actually enjoying the storyline they were doing. That's why it's such a shame that there's going to be such a huge gap because they only released 4 episodes of this latest season, and then they said that they were going to return, I guess, some point next year.
Speaking of
Um,
gaps, first half of Invincible season 2.
I was going to bring that up now. Yeah, dude, that has been so good. God, fuck, J.K. Simmons, you are a treasure, and I will protect you at all
I
costs.
thought of
Jesus.
something else.
What?
Gen V.
Yes, that was also amazing. I am hungering for the boys so goddamn bad. Look, guys, I will tell you straight up. Um, the 2 shows that I am really looking forward to see come back now that the strike is over. The Boys and fucking Severance. Oh my god, if you haven't watched Severance, please fucking get on that shit.
Gen V was
Um,
so fucking good. Oh my god, I
it really
loved it.
was. It really, really fucking was. Um, God, I already mentioned Noel, and I mentioned like a few of the Christmas things we did. I know you also mentioned some stuff.
Yeah, my
Um,
mom and I, we watched Christmas Vacation. We watched Home Alone. I'm trying to think of what else. Because the three of us all together, we did like Klaus, and we did like you mentioned Noel. Um, I have a list actually of the 2023 Christmas movies we watched. We watched Jim Carrey Grinch.
yes, yes. We also watched the South Park special, Not Suitable for
That's
Children.
right. Yeah, the Panderverse too.
Like you said, I think you already mentioned this, but just to retread, we've been keeping up with Percy Jackson and the Olympians, the Disney Plus
Yep.
series.
Loki season 2. I mean, I brought up Loki season 2 already, but that's worth mentioning too for sure.
Yeah, we've been keeping up with What If, which I know we've got another episode of that tonight to
Hell
do.
yeah.
Um, God, what else? Because there's always more. Um,
Looking to see if this was
oh,
okay.
can I talk about something amazing I actually watched this
Please
quarter? I don't want to cut you off
do.
though if you were
Yeah,
about to say
no, please
something.
do.
Fucking Emma Stone
The
and
Curse.
Nathan Felder cursed, dude. I am so fucking pissed at Paramount Plus because we've only been able to do one episode of that show, and you know that Family Day has gotten kind of complicated with Chris's new work schedule, and we really haven't figured anything out, if I'm honest. I want to continue watching that show so fucking bad. I have never. It's been a long time, I'll say, since I've enjoyed a pilot for a show or a first episode of a show as much as I enjoyed that one. I've wanted to look at Felder's work for a long time because I always heard great things about Nathan For You and the show that he did after Nathan For You, and he just seems like the type of comic that really is doing great things for a comedy, but very quietly because I feel like he doesn't get talked about a lot. Very similar to Bo Burnham, as a matter of fact, which that's another thing. His Inside Out special. I watched some clips from that because I had fond memories of that. But yeah, Cursed. Check that fucking
Isn't
shit
it just
out. It
called The
is.
Curse?
I think so. Yeah, The Curse. Check it out if you haven't. It is if you're into that offbeat humor and where like something just feels a bit, just off about like the premise, like kind of that surrealist, absurdist type thing. This is the fucking show for you. It is
Yeah, it is The Curse.
delightfully weird. Yeah, it's so good. Um, so
Oh,
hmm,
dude, that's right. Oh man. Okay, I pulled up our watch list to see what we've watched.
yeah,
Across the Spider Verse, we watched that
yes,
this quarter.
yes,
Um, the, we didn't have to only mention things that we actually enjoyed. The House with a Clock in its Walls was kind of mid to me.
yeah, it was. Yeah, but actually, good on you for pulling up the list because I completely forgot we watched that. That's how mid it was.
Yeah. Oh, here's one that wasn't mid. Very good one actually. That we watched in October. Us.
Yes, God, I really can't wait for Jordan Peele's next movie next year. It's gonna be great.
Sticking with the Halloween theme because again we are including October in this. Well, we watched Quiet Place 1 and 2,
Yes, we did.
Hotel Transylvania, which I was not the biggest fan of.
No, I was disappointed in that one. I had higher expectations for that one. Um,
Huh?
but yeah,
Oh, we watched FNAF,
yes,
Five
that I
Nights
did
at
enjoy.
Freddy's.
Yeah, trying to think because I know my family and stuff. We did watch a little bit of the Squid Game reality show, which yikes! I mean, Ashton alerted me to how bad that was production wise, so I feel a bit dirty for
I've actually
watching it.
heard even more horror stories since I told you about the one that I heard about in the first place.
Yeah, oh my god.
Yeah. Like, you know how in the actual like original show there was like some, like when they were doing hide and seek, the little girl would turn around and you would have to stop for a few seconds and then she would turn back around and you could go.
Yeah,
Well, apparently the gigantic like field or pitch or whatever you want to call it, they filmed that scene in for the show, for the reality show. They had to freeze in place for so long and it was so cold there that people were starting to lose feeling and there were people who were passing out.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
like the filming conditions for that were horrific.
God damn. I want to say on the Halloween trend, I do believe my family and I like we watched Barbarian on
That's right,
October
yeah.
because I know I was trying to sell you on the movie. You weren't into it. You were like, doesn't seem like it's for me. I will say that I thought it was a great horror movie. I would recommend that people check it out. Um, oh, you know what other show I'm missing since Prime only shows? I can't wait for Bel Air to come back. Fucking
Yeah,
can't wait for Bel Air to come back.
God,
But
that's
speaking
just
of, didn't we do the Wonder Years this quarter before it got canceled?
no.
No, that
That's a
was Beyond
while
Him.
ago.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm missing Bel Air. I really hope we get a season 3. Well, we know season 3 is coming. I just hope that we get like a trailer or something within the next couple months because it released Black History Month or February, last year. So I'm kind of hoping for a similar release schedule. But yeah, there was that.
We don't even have a Bel Air announced date yet, like
God,
a
that's
release date.
really
We just know 2024, so hopefully
yeah,
sooner than later.
yeah, definitely because I fucking love that show. Um,
We did The Darkest Minds. That was an interesting one.
oh yeah, yeah,
That was one that had a lot of potential and really squandered it hard.
yeah.
Like
Um,
we really were like, oh man, we've got this resistance camp, but oh no, the guy running it is in cahoots with the government. Better call in this other militia to come save us. Oh God.
Yeah, that again, like I'm more critical now of like YA films and stuff because I've seen how talented child actors can be and stuff because of properties like Stranger Things. So like now, when I just feel like something, I'm like, it just kind of suck. And that's
The
but
bar has been lifted, people.
speaking of Stranger Things, I actually did rewatch the scene recently of Pop's letter to Elle,
Oh
and
God, yeah, that's a tearjerker.
I cry every time. Like I don't think I could get through that scene without tearing up, just because I mean, uh, speaking of David Arbor, fucking Violent Night was a Christmas movie my
Ah,
family and I
yeah,
went,
I
oh,
wanted to watch that, never got around to it, but I'm glad that you were able to.
dude, I don't even care if you have to watch it like in a non-Christmas month. I know that we're not weird and we're trying to keep the months where they are. I know that's kind of our movement, but if you're gonna hold off on it till next Christmas, like seriously, that should be at the top of your list. It's so fucking good. David Arbor, I think, low key might be one of my favorite actors working because there's a real sincerity in his performances when he does, like non-asshole characters, and when he does asshole characters, I'm guessing he could probably do those well too. He's
It's
just a
weird
very talented
because
actor.
he was Hellboy just a few years ago, and I've heard nothing but bad things about that movie.
Yeah, but then like look at what he's done since, right? And it's like, man,
Yeah. It's
what
like,
a
what the
fucking
hell
turn.
happened for that movie? Because Hellboy's a great property, and you got a great actor, generally a solid cast overall for that movie. I just would love to know. Honestly, that kind of just makes me want to watch it for myself and see if I also think it's bad or if I just am like, what the fuck are these critics talking about? This was great.
Ashton's gonna be like, this is the Scott Steiner versus Triple H of cinema. I don't know what you people are doing.
This isn't
Uh,
bad. They're just working strong style.
exactly. Actually, funny thing about David Arbor, while I'm making the mental threads, so I got either COVID or the flu when I came back from my Florida trip. And it was awful, and I felt like I was gonna die. But while I was convalescing, I wanted to rewatch the series Elementary with Johnny Lee Miller and Lucy Liu because with Johnny Lee Miller, I recently was on a
Didn't
friend of
Lucy
mine's
Liu play
podcast.
Watson in that?
She did.
I
Yes,
thought
she
so.
did. But what made me want to do that was, recently I was on a friend of mine's podcast where he makes his friends watch bad movies, and I watched, I believe it was 1997 movie Hackers. That might have also been in this
Angelina
quarter. Now that I
Jolie?
think about it. Yep, that's right. That's right. Who
Nice.
used to be married to Johnny Lee Miller, which was also something I didn't know. Um, and yeah, like I remember him being a really good actor, and he wasn't terrible in this. I cut him a lot of slack, but I'm like, man, it really makes me miss his performance as Sherlock. Now, I will admit, I gave up after like 3 seasons, but I did get through 3 seasons of the show before I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of over it now. The itch has been kind of scratched. So that was a big thing I did. But why that brings up David Arbor was he was the killer in one of the episodes. So I was
Nice.
actually surprised to see him in a casting credit. Um, yeah, so that happened. What else did I watch? Because then I think Hackers. Again, that might have been this quarter, although I kind of doubt it.
My
Because
mom and I
yeah,
watched "Twas the Night" again this year for Christmas.
nice, nice.
The little sister is a hacker. That's relevant.
Oh God, there you go. There you go.
We also
Oh man.
watched The Night Before, the Seth Rogen one.
Yes.
That movie was better than I remembered. It's a good one.
Oh, dude, you and I just very recently we've been watching Yu-Gi-Oh! And this quarter as well we've been
Black
doing Black Clover.
Clover. That's right. Yeah, we did get started on Black Clover this quarter.
Yeah,
I think we're
so
on
that
like
was a big
episode
thing.
17, I want to say ish. Maybe. Oh, actually, no, I think we're in the 20s now,
No,
aren't we?
we're a bit further along than that. We're on episode 25 is what I have in my
Yeah, we are
bookmark.
in the 20s. I kind of like, once I thought about it, I was like, wait a minute. No, actually, yeah.
Yeah. But man, I'm really glad we got to see the Battle City Yugi Kaiba duel subbed. I will
Dude.
say, yeah. Yeah,
I
what's
mean,
up?
you said Yugi Kaiba. Yugi Malik was fucking unhinged. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
I mean, I thought fucking Aardvarks had schlong tongues, but Yami Merrick, man, what the fuck? Uh,
Was that
he's
in the
doing
dub
great.
too? Was he licking around like that in the dub too?
They might have cut some of it out, but I know they still did like weird faces and stuff for him in the
Oh, I know
dub as
there were
well.
still weird faces, but that was a lot of tongue action.
Yeah, it was.
I was waiting for him to
Um,
go full fucking Hannibal and
bro, I would have just rooted for him right then and there. I'm like, you know what? Who even needs a pharaoh? Fuck it. Take everything, kill
I
everyone,
believe you
plunder
too.
everything in
It's
darkness.
true. It's so true. You would have.
Yeah. God, I love how easy I am to be swayed towards evil. It's great.
If they're just
Um,
charismatic enough, that's all it takes because the world is pro wrestling to you.
yeah, see, now you understand. Um, let me think here. I know I watched a couple of
Bro,
trailers for
fucking
stuff.
Mai pretending to still be out was fucked up.
Like I said, it was a Tamantha level
It
prank. I'm
was. It
telling
really was. She was like, ha ha, you had feelings. What a
you.
loser.
You had trauma. You stupid bitch. But yeah. Oh my god. But yeah, what
We
else?
did meet Mimosa, I believe, Foster. That name sounds very familiar.
Yes. Oh, speaking of YouTube content and Rotten Butter, I'm not even sure if you were the one that asked about this. I want to say that you were because it feels like a you thing to bring up. But I did finish H Bomber Guy's video on plagiarism,
Oh, the
and
4 hour one.
yeah, I watched it. I watched the whole fucking thing.
Let me ask you a question,
And
John.
yeah,
Was it worth it?
it was. He's a really great researcher and video essayist. And this is coming from a guy that finds just the deluge of everybody and their mother making video essays today to be a bit tedious. His quality is definitely a cut above. I even started watching his he did a whole big video essay on Ruby is disappointing and here's why.
I
And I've wanted
remember
to get
that.
more.
That's a great video essay.
Oh, you actually watched that one.
I did, yeah.
Interesting.
That's one that I've seen.
I've started watching the Roblox oof sound and my god. Wow. Um
Wait, what's that one about?
Well, because there was this whole thing about Roblox. They have this quote unquote iconic oof sound that happens. I guess it's
Is it
certain
like the
parts.
Minecraft oof?
No, I don't think so. 'Cause I think he even played audio of the Minecraft oof. It's a bit different from that. But the
Oh,
thing
okay.
is, it's not an original sound, and
Ah.
it came from a game called Messiah,
Ah.
and that was the origin of the sound. But the problem with all of that is why this was even like close to a 2 hour video essay. Um, But, Tommy Tallarico, who was this, really prolific, um, video game, like, I think, sound designer and stuff, he took credit for it, but he really had nothing to do with it. At most, his credit goes from it was made by somebody, like, in his company, but it wasn't, like, something that he personally made. I haven't gotten far enough in the video essay, but it's also implied that, like, he doesn't really hold certain Guinness World Records that he likes to display in his house. But there might have been some falsehood there. Like, yeah, he is. Rotten Butter really put it best. Prolific liar, Tommy Tallarico. And apparently, the thing about H Bomber Guy is when he makes videos on you, you're fucking cooked. Like, the plagiarism video, the big target of that was James Somerton, who was a major fucking plagiarist. Dude, at one point, he does this, like, little image in the video that shows Somerton's script. I even forget what video this was. And he does all this highlighted text. The highlighted text is stuff that he plagiarized. The unhighlighted text is just a potentially original stuff. And he plagiarized for one video like 18 different sources. And like, yeah, it was bad. And I mean like reading directly from a book but not giving any proper attribution and acting like these ideas were like an original thesis that he developed. It was fucked. And he has now tanked. He doesn't have a YouTube channel anymore. I don't even know if he has a Patreon or a Twitter anymore. I think he tried putting out an apology, which that got roasted too because YouTube apologies always go over super great.
Oh
Yeah, he
God, I
got
remember
fucking
the one that
cooked.
Miranda Sings put out. Christ.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, like it was James Somerton deservedly got fucking cooked. And the only really good thing to come out of this is H Bomber guy plugged at the end a bunch of queer and just like saga creators. And also he did cite the sources that James ripped off. So and that told people that connected them to a lot of great queer literature and research that they never knew about before. So there was good to come out of this, but man, it's and really, I gotta tell you, it makes me now sus on the video essay as a genre because even the people that I like, I'm always gonna be thinking, were you able to research all this or did you plagiarize? And I think a good way to tell is how fast are these videos coming out? Because another one that got called out, Illuminati, if you look at their timestamps when they uploaded those videos, it was way too fast for the kind of research that would necessitate the kind of subjects they were talking about. And that's just because they just lifted it from other fucking shit. So yeah. Just always look at the time that people like their output. Because if it seems like really impressive, chances are I mean, there was one guy I watched his live stream, we're talking about things that we did this quarter. That was like I actually felt relieved watching H Bomber guy's video because when it came to Illuminati, this person that I just mentioned, and their productivity, it made me feel like shit. They were like, I try and make good videos, I try and make good content, but they were just making content that was like so great, and they were doing it so much faster, like really fast, that to know that they plagiarized it, like it just made me feel better. That it really wasn't like a personal failing. It's just no, they cut corners, and yeah, I guarantee you, a lot of people probably felt that way. Like, why should I even get in this space? And these people are like owning the space. Well, turns out now it's opened up because they were a bunch of fucking plagiarists. So have at it, I guess. Um, you know what, a Rotten Butter? I have not watched that one, but it's been on my mind because I still deal with discourse about that, like people thinking that vaccines cause autism, and it hurts me so much.
We
So
watched
yeah,
28 Days Later this quarter.
yes. Oh my god, such an amazing movie. Oh my god. Really, really glad that you turned me onto that
That
because
movie
that
was
that was
fucking art.
it was it genuine like at a time when and I think we did it at the right time too because I was so far removed from like the Walking Dead era that I was no longer burned out on zombies.
Right.
That just so well done, just so fucking well done. Um, okay, let me think. I'm struggling to really think of anything else worthwhile. I'll give you more of the floor if you feel like you've had more to share just from your side, like you and your mom, or just you personally. Because
Okay.
yeah, if you can think of
Um.
anything, have at it.
Well, I know that I actually went back in the movies and television channel on our Discord, and I was just looking at the shit that I talked about. And one of the first things that I talked about after our last Q&A was that my mom and I watched Into the Woods, and I fucking love that movie. Honestly, I never really thought I'd see the day that a musical movie would be in my top 5 movies of all time, but that might be. It might very well be one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time. It really will. It might be. Um,
Oh,
it's so good. I love it. The fucking musical number between the two princes, the agony is so funny to me. I love it so much. Um,
nice.
because they're both just bitching about how hard their lives are when like they've got it so made. It's so fucking
Yeah.
good. Like
Uh,
like one of them is like, "Oh, this girl just keeps running away from me," and it's like, "Oh, I'm a prince. How could she?"
I love that the energy is just like, but I'm me.
Yeah, it
How could
literally
this
is.
happen to
It
me?
literally is.
God, we need to bring back villains that say their name as a reason why that thing shouldn't happen to them. I need to cackle, damn
We
it.
need more Gastons in the world.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
In
Oh,
fiction, not reality.
I mean, yes. I wanna be clear about that too. I'm just very impressed of how fluent in me you've become all this time, because you're definitely speaking my language right now.
Hell yeah.
Uh,
Another thing about that movie that I made note of in this particular watch through was how much I fucking hated James Corden's character.
oh,
He was like the one of the protagonists. And he
yeah.
was the one that was like married to Emily Blunt's character, if you remember.
Right, right, right.
They were the ones that were trying to have a baby, right? And they were like the ones that
Yeah,
like the witch said to collect all these things. They were like the central focus of the plot. He's
yes.
such a complete incompetent and bumbling idiot, and he has zero compassion whatsoever, and yet he still manages to exhibit toxic masculinity multiple times.
Yeah.
It's kind of unbelievable, honestly.
God damn. What a world.
It's like, damn, there's the trifecta. You've managed to hit 4 awful things.
There you go. Uh,
What else?
um,
Did we talked about
yeah,
Invincible already?
yeah. I will say, I guess, just to give you guys more inside baseball, since Ron Butter asked about, like, everything you guys did this quarter, I did mention that I went to Florida this quarter and went to the Ringling Museum. Super fucking cool. I gotta give shout out to the fucking artists, whether it was like making the figurines, painting them, or even just the people that assembled the finished product, like everybody, the entire fucking team, because the fucking scale model they did of the traveling circus, one of the wildest things I've ever seen. Like, true craftsmanship to me at an elite fucking level. The museum itself was great. We got to see the mansion of the guy that like kind of owned the traveling circus, and my god. So that was pretty cool. Went to a Dali museum. That was pretty interesting. Oh, speaking of watching stuff, I watched Friends with, well, my friends. In a
Yeah.
hot tub, and that was the classiest I had felt in a minute. And I will say that Friends, eh, Christy actually made a great point, my sister, when she said that it's one of those shows that it's better when you watch it with like enough distance, because they made jokes about, like, oh, it's 1999, what's wrong with you? And it just hits different, when you're like in your 30s and you've just come out of that era and you're far removed from it. So that was something. Played this great trivia game called Knowledge is Power. I love games like that. I only won one round, but it was a great time. So yeah, that was something I did. That was a really nice little mini vacation. Could have done without getting sick, but what are you gonna do?
Finally finished Power Rangers SPD this quarter, so that's nice.
Nice,
And we did
nice.
get started on Mystic Force. We are like, I want to say we're like 2/3 of the way through Mystic Force because it's a 32 episode season and we're in like the low to mid 20s. So like we're getting there. It's just we it's one of those things where like when we watch it, we only ever really have time to watch 1 or 2 episodes because normally by the time we're ready to settle down and watch TV, it's like 7 o'clock and then shit starts happening at 8. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly,
So it's
exactly.
tough. But yeah, we need a good like Sunday to just plow through the rest of the season, you know. But
What
now,
about
yeah, but
music,
that's the
bro?
other problem is that now Sundays are dedicated to the NFL. That's why we haven't been watching as much Power Rangers.
Okay, but what about music, bro? I feel like, haven't you had a productive quarter music wise?
Dude,
I feel like
oh
you've been
my
active in the
god,
music channel.
music wise, I was literally just posting in the music channel earlier today. There is a girl group called XG. And
Okay,
they're a Japanese, they're an all Japanese girl group, but they are basically like a K-pop group. Like they make K-pop type music.
right.
But they are so good. Like I love their music like as far as like it's just bop after bop after bop. But I actually was learning last night, and this is one of the reasons I'm a little bit sleep deprived today because it was one of the rabbit holes I went down last night. Apparently, Japan is like even more patriarchal than the US.
Yeah.
And these women are actually like starting to introduce, or I shouldn't say introduce, but like starting to push more feminine values into the mainstream, and they're like actually really good for women in Japan. It's kind of
Nice.
amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Fuck
it's
yeah.
fucking awesome. It's really cool. That's one. Um, Dude, I've been bringing this up multiple times to you and in the Discord. Billie Eilish has a song out right now called "What Was I Made For?" that is part of the Barbie soundtrack that played towards the end of the Barbie movie that we all fucking cried to basically. That
Yeah.
is going to wipe the floor with everyone at the Grammys in February, I think. That's a big one. My mom has recently been obsessed with Olivia Rodrigo's music, and I do believe that Olivia's Guts album did drop this quarter. It might have been right at the very end of September, so it might have technically been last quarter, but if it was at the very end. And that's, I mean, it's good music. I enjoy it too. um, Tate McRae, actually, I've never been that big into Tate McRae. I don't know if you even know who she is. Have you ever heard of her?
Never heard of
You've
her. This is
never
the
heard of
first
Tate
time I'm hearing
McRae.
of. No.
Did I ever make her song a boop of the day? I think I did, but I want to check and make sure. It's called Greedy.
Oh, okay.
I've posted some of her stuff. I had to have made Greedy a boop of the day at some point. I did. Wait, no, I didn't. What? Did I really not ever make Greedy my? Oh, there it is. Okay. So on December 8th, it was my boop of the day.
Oh, nice.
It was Greedy by Tate McRae, and it is an amazing song. Just like bop, just to the max. Like 11 out of 10 bop. Super,
Yeah.
super dancey. Really, really catchy. Really fun song. Um, and so that was another one. Let me pull up my phone so I can pull up my Spotify. I actually had XG pulled up on my phone on Spotify. They have a song out called Girl Gang, but gang is spelled GVNG.
Okay.
Yeah. Did have a little bit of a Diplo phase this month, or this quarter, I should say.
Okay.
I fucking love Labyrinth as usual. I'm sure I brought him up plenty of times before. I had a Freddie Nelson phase this quarter. So I don't know if you guys know the story on this, but back in like, I mean, shit, maybe 2008, 2009 ish. It was when I was in college. A YouTube video went viral of this dude singing at like a bar, up on a stage at like a bar, and he was singing Queen songs. He did like a Queen medley that he obviously composed himself. And he sounded just so fucking spot on like Freddie Mercury. It was unbelievable. It was insane, and it went super viral at the time. Which I mean, to this day, if it went viral at that time, it might have like 12 million views for all I know. But like, it went super viral at the time, and it led me to finding this dude, Freddie Nelson, and eventually he put out an album with a guy named Paul Gilbert, which I actually had already figured out who Paul Gilbert was by that point because I was on this website called Goal Line Blitz. John, you know what that is. And
Yes.
it was, there are like forums on Goal Line Blitz where you can have discussion about things other than the game Goal Line Blitz. And there was like an off-topic discussion doing like a fantasy music draft. Or like, hey, if you could put a band together using, individual, musicians to put the band together, let's draft bands basically. And I was a part of that. And someone mentioned Paul Gilbert. Actually, no, I think what it was is I was doing research on who I wanted my lead guitarist to be, and Paul Gilbert was just a name that popped up, and I looked into him and I really loved his stuff. So I knew about him prior to this, and then they collabed and I was like, oh shit, I got to look into this. Loved it. It was awesome music. So they put out a whole album called United States. It's like 10 songs, I want to say. And it was like one of the most listened to things on my Napster for the longest time. And yes, I said Napster because I used Napster for the longest time. And then I switched over to Spotify, and they don't have it on Spotify. So I haven't been able to listen to it in recent years. but I was like randomly like someone must have said something or I heard something on TV or something that reminded me of a lyric to one of their songs because it made me really want to listen to their stuff. And so I went on YouTube and found it and played it. And so that was like a phase that I had recently. I don't know like how long it's going to last. It's probably not going to last super long because I'm already kind of almost over it, but like it's great shit. If you're into like I don't want to call it butt rock, but it's kind of butt rock. But if you're into like old school sounding newer music, like if you're into like Greta Van Vliet, you'll probably if you're like let me put it this way: if you like Greta Van Vliet at all and you love Queen, you'll probably really like this music.
All right, good to know.
John, you probably don't even know who Greta Van Vliet is, do you?
No.
No, that's fine. I want to, you know what? I kind of want to go back and talk about my boops of the day now because those are like a really good way of cataloging what music I like at any given time.
Sure, go for it.
Let's see. I'm back in September now. And let's see, my boops of the day are. Dude, I actually have a story to tell about this one too. Okay. So my September 30th boop of the day was just dropped in to see what condition my condition was in by Kenny Rogers, which is so funny because I mean, first of all, it's on the Big Lebowski soundtrack, can't go wrong there. But second of all, that song came on in the fucking car while my pop was driving my mom and I up to see my cousin and her kids.
Oh, wow.
Oh my god, it's so funny because he's such a curmudgeon about anything joy. Like anyone enjoying themselves, he wants to shut that shit down. But when that song came on, I was like, "Oh, I love this song," and I started singing a little bit, and even my nan was like, "How do you know this song?" I was like, "Oh, it was on the soundtrack to a movie I like," and she was like, "Oh, okay," and he was like, "Oh, that's Kenny Rogers," and I was like, "Oh yeah, it is." And it was just so funny because there was literally a point in my life that whenever I was in the car with them and a song came on I liked and I started singing it, he would fucking change the channel. Thankfully that didn't happen this time, but it used to.
Nice.
Like it's just such a weird coincidence that I posted that back in September and then it came up again on Christmas Day. Like what an odd coincidence.
Yeah, that's wild.
Uh, my next boop of the day was La Tortura, my favorite Shakira song.
Oh, okay, cool.
Then Crash by Cavo. Have you heard that one?
No, I don't think so.
Then White Balloons by Sick Puppies.
No, that one actually sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't
Well, I
think.
know you've heard of Sick Puppies
Yeah,
because they've
exactly.
done like
That's why it's.
WWE stuff.
Yeah.
Then Because I'm Me by the Avalanches. That's a classic. That was, I think the reason I'm even aware of that song is because it was on a commercial at one point, and I was just like, man, I like that song. I ought to find it, and I looked it up and found it.
Right.
So Sure Thing by Miguel has been lighting up radio airwaves recently, which is really funny because that song originally came out in 2010. That song literally came out in 2010, and now all of a sudden it's having this massive resurgence for some reason. I genuinely don't know why.
That is weird.
I mean, it's a bop. I'm not complaining. I love the song, but it's just so weird that it's just all of a sudden now getting played on every pop station. Like, it's almost like the way that Running Up That Hill did when Stranger
Right.
Things played it. It's almost like that, but that song was from the 80s. This is from 2010. It's a little more recent, but it's almost a similar sensation to that, where like this song that had been gone for so long, and by gone, I just mean not getting played on the radio, now all of a sudden it's in every pop station's rotation. It makes no sense.
Yeah,
Then I
that's
put up a
crazy.
song by El Garden, which is a Japanese pop punk band.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, really good stuff. I posted a YouTube video of 90s Eurodance music. Samantha Mumba, Gotta Tell You. I don't know if you know that one.
No.
It's very boppy. It slaps pretty hard. It's from, I think, like 01, 02 ish.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not familiar.
Then you
You have good
posted a
taste.
bunch of
I'll think
stuff
of it.
from NLE Choppa.
Yeah, well, thank God he's okay. That was another weird thing that happened this quarter that people thought he went missing, but I think he just wanted to get away and come back recharged. Talented dude. I know I'm behind on some of his stuff. Actually, you mentioning him makes me think of the rap genre and how much I've missed this quarter. 'Cause I wonder if Joyner Lucas has dropped anything. That dude. Oh my God, Joyner Lucas. Um, but yeah, music was kind to both of us, I think, this quarter. Good shit.
So I just flipped back to chat, and it's been mostly Rotten Butter talking. Actually, it's been all Rotten Butter talking since Alex Foster's message about Black Clover and Mimosa, and he said about how um he loves the musical Into the Woods, but he's never seen the movie. And then when I talked about how much I hated James Corden's character, he said, "Of course, it's James Corden. The character is much better in the play, partially because he's not James Corden." I think isn't it like a bit that everyone hates James Corden?
Seemingly, I guess.
I can
Yeah.
name one movie that I actually really liked James Corden's character, and that's Peter Rabbit.
Damn.
He voices Peter, and he's a great character. He's really good.
Yeah.
Uh, then he also said, "Who doesn't love butt rock?" I mean, I think everyone in here does, to be fair, love butt rock, at least to some degree.
Yes. Yes.
And then he said, "I had fun once. It was terrible." I feel like that's a quote from a movie. I watched Little Big League this quarter for the first time in a while. I love that movie so much. Have we watched that together?
Uh, what movie would this be now?
Little Big League?
I feel like we have, but I want to
Movie
say no,
about like a
actually.
middle school kid whose grandpa owns a baseball team, and then the grandpa dies, and in his will he leaves the whole ass baseball team to the kid, and the kid just has to run the baseball team from then on, and he becomes like the owner of the Minnesota Twins, and eventually, because he is trying to be more empathetic with the players, he fires the head coach, and then he has to find a head coach, and nobody wants to work for a kid, so he ends up becoming the head coach of his own team.
Holy shit! No, we didn't watch this. This sounds
It's
insane.
a great movie, dude. You might actually like it, even though it's baseball, because you liked Moneyball too, and that was baseball related too.
Yeah, Moneyball's good. I don't mind sports movies. It's just actual sports
As
like
long
watching
as
them.
they're not about like the inner workings of the sport, as long as there's a story that the movie's about, and the sport is just like the underlying theme of it.
Yeah, bonus points if we don't get all white savior about it either. Like, oh, these black players are so talented, they just need somebody to believe in them. And then, it's the whitest person in the fucking movie. It was me. I believed in them. uh, but yeah, no,
Yeah,
it
that was
sounds like an
yeah. I
interesting
watched
premise.
that, but the only reason I bring that up is because at one point he, as the new coach of the team, he comes into the locker room to talk to the players, and he's just like, "Listen, everyone, I know you don't want to play for me, and hey, if we don't start winning within the next couple weeks, I'll fire myself. But you gotta hustle. You gotta hustle." And then there was like another one where he came in after they lost a couple games, and he's just like, "You guys, you're all just trying too hard to do this and that. What happened to just having fun? I want you guys to take the day off tomorrow and then come in bright and early the next day, and we're gonna have some fun." And one of the dudes just sitting there with a fucking ice pack on his shoulder because he's a pitcher, and he just like throws the ice pack on the table, and he's just like, "Oh, I hate fun." It reminds me of Rotten Butter's comment there about having fun once and it being terrible. And he said, "I hate
uh,
sports, but I love me some sports anime."
there you go.
That's great. Oh man.
Um, Anything else you want to recap, or do you think we move on here? 'Cause I feel like
I
I
mean, there's a lot
don't
more
really.
that I could recap, but in the interest of time, let's just move on.
Sure.
There's a lot. So let's move on. He kind of threw away two questions, and then the next real question is, what did you get for Christmas this year?
Well, you and your mom very graciously got me a $40 Kindle gift card. I'm
And you
very
and your
grateful for
face
that.
very graciously got me Sonic Frontiers for Switch.
I know. Oh god, that was great. Um, yeah, but yeah, my family, like my immediate family, we didn't do gifts for each other this year. We decided that we would just spend it on a nice family meal. So we went and we got some banging ass fucking sushi. I'll tell you, my body's really been
Nice.
loving all the protein I've got lately, mainly from raw fish, because I also had
Hell
sushi
yeah.
in
Oh,
Florida.
wait. All of it raw?
Well, I think a good bit of it, yeah. Because I mean, I know we
Yeah.
did rolls and they were probably properly cooked, but we also did sashimi, and like that is like raw fish.
Uh-huh.
So like, yeah. So yeah, it was pretty evenly split. I want to say though.
Nice.
But yeah, no, it's a good time. Um,
So for me, for Christmas, I haven't gotten any of the gifts that other people have gotten for me yet, other than the Sonic Frontiers, which you got me, which I actually just got today, arrived in the mail today. Thank you.
nice, nice.
But I am getting some kind of gift cards, I think, from my aunt and her boyfriend. And then I'm gonna be getting, I'm gonna be taking my car to an auto place, and up to $200 of that is gonna be getting paid for by my grandparents as a Christmas gift as well.
Nice.
And then I bought myself almost $200 worth, actually over $200 worth of Christmas gifts as well.
Nice.
I bought myself a PS Vita, which is something that I've been wanting for quite a while now. I am yet to hack it because, anxiety and stuff like that. But I do want to hack it. And once I do hack it, then I will have a nifty little machine that can play any game that was on the PSP, PS1, or Vita, of course, libraries for free. And then I also bought myself a membership to Nintendo Switch Online with the expansion pack, which means, and this is actually something that can add on to the first Rotten Butter question, that I can play Game Boy Advance and N64 games in the Virtual Console section of my Switch. And in doing so, I played and then literally in 2.5 hours beat Pokemon Snap the same night that I bought the expansion pack.
Wow.
I've been playing a lot of well, I told you about Pokemon Snap. That was like the first main thing because that's just a game that I love. It's funny because I played that game for hours and hours and hours as a kid because I always just wanted to keep trying to get better and better pictures, and I never got to the actual last level of the game. And then tonight, or not tonight, but this quarter, I literally just beat it to 2.5 hours. Like, started playing the game, 2.5 hours later, credits were rolling. Like,
Yes.
I didn't necessarily go for completionist because there were like 4 Pokemon by the end that I hadn't taken pictures of, but still, like, credits rolled, man. I beat the game. So
Yeah. You did it. You would cheat. You
I
did.
did. And like, I also have been playing Fire Emblem on the GBA side. There's also a GBA game that I got really addicted to for a while there called Kuru Kuru Kururin, which I'm sure some people are familiar with in chat, which
I
is
do remember you mentioning
literally,
that.
it's,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like you've got like a rotating stick that you have to like maneuver and navigate through like a puzzle. And if you touch the walls, you lose a point, and if you lose 3 points, you have to restart.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and there are like little springs so that if your rotating stick hits a spring at a certain angle, it'll rotate in the opposite direction. So that's a way to like manipulate its rotation to get yourself to navigate around certain walls and certain curves in better ways and stuff. It's really cool. It's a really addictive game until you run into a map that you feel like you can't beat, and then you just give up on the game entirely, and that's what happened to me.
Yeah.
The game that I've actually been playing the most recently isn't even part of the expansion pack. It's part of the standard Switch Online, and because it's an SNES game, Super Nintendo, Super Mario, or not even Super, it's just called Mario Picross. It's just a regular Picross game based on Mario, and it's not even in English; it's in Japanese.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, I've been playing. I'm on like level 8, I think, of that, and I'm like I think 5 or 6 puzzles into it. Into
Nice.
level 8, that is. Each level has, I think, like 16 puzzles or something like that. So I've done like 7 times 16 puzzles already, plus another like 4 or 5.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm really addicted to that game. That's a big one that I've been really into over the last week or so.
Nice. That's cool though that you're enjoying yourself that much.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And of course, you and I have been doing our usual Rocket League and Brawlhalla. I know Abel recently got himself a new gaming laptop, and so he and I are going to be getting back into MapleStory soon, hopefully. But we have not yet. I did see that
Oh,
MapleStory has a new world up, if I could speak, a new reboot world even. So I really want to start some new characters on that. That's fun and interesting. But yeah, so that's a thing. So yeah, that was my Christmas. Next question.
Yes.
This is actually just for me, John. He said to Ashton, create a team of 6 Pokemon for John based on his personality and interests. And he also said and region. I'm not sure what he meant by and region, but then he added no legendaries. I don't think there are any legendaries in Johto that I would have picked for you regardless. But I think based on your personality interests, 6 Pokemon for you based on your and a region. What do you mean by and region there, Rotten Butter? I'm curious because I'm
I mean, I am in
curious.
the New England region. Maybe it means something like that, like climate. When you think about like stuff like that. I
But
don't know.
I mean, to be fair though, maybe because you are in New England, maybe I should base it off of Kalos because that's like a New York City region.
Right.
I think.
All right.
I'm just looking to make sure.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I know Foster made a suggestion, and I'm curious what this Pokemon looks like.
Oh, it's a typo. Oh, actually, Unova is based in New York City. So, what region should I be using then, Rotten Butter? Or any region, any region. Okay, okay. Let's see. Well, John's ace is definitely Metagross because it is a psychic type and a steel type. And I mean, what describes Ferrum Intellectus better, right?
Indeed.
So
Indeed.
that's perfect. Um, so your ace is Metagross. Um, I think I want to put Tauros on your team
Okay.
because it's the closest thing that Pokemon has to a Wildebeest, and I know you love Wildebeest for what they did to Mufasa.
Yes.
So you've got Metagross and Tauros now.
Okay.
Um, hmm. I need to put Tinkaton on your team.
Okay. Oh my god, these fucking names.
Tinkaton is. I'm going to show you actually. I want your live reaction to this artwork.
I'm sorry, but if I was facing somebody and they threw a Pokeball out and they were like, "Take a ton, go," I would walk over to their side of the field and beat the shit out of them. I'd be like, "The fuck is this?"
Yeah, no, look at it though.
Wow, that's absurd. They are
That's
way too tiny to be holding a hammer that big.
it literally has a move called Gigaton Hammer where
Yeah,
that's what
you
it
know
is. It
what?
swings the hammer. It is a 160 base power steel type move that it cannot use 2 times in a row. It's that powerful that it just can't use it twice in a row. If it uses it once, it has to use a different move the next turn.
I mean, so how soon until we have a Pokemon packing a fucking gun with them? I'm surprised they haven't done that with Meowth yet, honestly, being Team Rocket and everything. Uh,
Uh,
but
I
of
mean,
course, it's
there
children's
there is a
animation,
Pokemon
so
that's based on a gun.
you gotta be kidding me.
I'm not kidding you. Let me show you Remoraid.
Jesus Christ, it
So
doesn't end.
here's the original design for Remoraid. They changed it, but this is the original design for Remoraid.
I mean, that would have been a hit in America. I don't know why they backed off of it.
And then here is the design that they changed it to. It got much more generic.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that first one would have been a huge hit in America. All the conservatives would be like, "Oh my god, that Pokemon's a gun!" Yes.
To be clear, the reason that I have Tinkaton as one of your Pokemon is because you are very hard and uh, hardened, and you want to come off as a heel on the outside, but we all know that you're just a soft little cuddly pink furball on the inside.
Wow. Jesus Christ.
And
Um,
Tinkaton is a Steel Fairy type.
oh my God. How many more of these do we have?
Three. We have three.
Jesus Christ. All right, get to it. Put my team together.
It's it's
Can I have the gun on
Metagross,
my team?
Metagross, Tauros, Tinkaton. No, you have no agency here. This is me assembling your team.
Oh, that's right. God damn it.
Um, oh, perfect. Heracross is on your team for sure. You might even remember Heracross from the anime.
No.
No?
No.
Oh, well, I almost Googled Heracross by its signature move. Okay, here's Heracross.
Okay. I
Uh,
think I actually do vaguely remember that.
yeah, so there are two reasons that I'm giving you Heracross. Number one, because it is a sap sipper, and I know that you like, well, scalps, is all I'm going to say here.
Wow. Really just putting my laundry out there for everybody.
and,
That's great.
and then its signature move is Mega Horn, and I'll just leave it at that. So that's four. Um, let's see. Oh, you know what? I have a really good idea actually. Because when I think of you like physically, I think of you having like this really strong upper body, and you've commonly described your legs as an empty tube of toothpaste.
Yes, that's correct.
So I want to see if I can remember. I'm struggling for names a little bit here, so let me just see if I can remember the name of this one. There it is. Oh, that's perfect. Conkelder
Okay.
is going on your team as well. Conkeldur. There's the link, John.
Wow.
Is that not
Yeah,
perfect?
yeah, it works. It works.
And because Metagross is sort of like your ace and sort of represents you as a whole as far as like your brand, I do really want to just zone in on your intelligence strictly as your intelligence, and I want to give you an Alakazam as well.
Oh, nice. That's
So
from the original 150. So now,
yes, that's your team.
now I'm like, okay,
So yeah,
yeah.
that's your team. Your team is so we've got Metagross, Tauros, Tinkaton, Heracross, Conkelder, and Alakazam.
All right. Oh, I'm glad we got all that established.
All right, so next stop, we've got I think this is the sixth question from Rotten Butter. He said, "Fuck, I don't know. What did you have for breakfast today?"
My rice dish, and I'm so glad I did because I haven't eaten since, and I can definitely feel myself fading. But I know I'm gonna eat quite a bit when we get done here. So yeah, I just did my rice dish for my quote unquote breakfast today. So
I had fried chicken, 3 chicken thighs actually, and some fruit punch as well.
nice. That's a hearty meal right there.
Yeah, it was delicious. Next up, when you close the fridge door, does the little light stay on? No.
No. Next.
Can you eat honor?
I'm about ready to try.
It's a Disco Elysium quote. He literally just put that in there so that he could tell us to play Disco Elysium again. He really wants
Well,
you specifically, at least, to play that game, John.
well, in the words of Tobias Funke, no. Next.
It wasn't funny until I thought about the scenario when he said that again. Fuck. Final question from Rotten Butter. Did you fuck my mom, Santa?
I mean, that candy cane probably went in that stocking, so yeah.
This is an Always
Next.
Sunny reference, by the way.
Oh, nice. See, that's something I can get behind. I watched a little bit of it. I've been meaning to give the show another shot, but it's.
It was Charlie being like, did you fuck my mom, Santa Claus? Did you fuck my mom? Did you fuck her? Did you fucking fuck my mom? Or no, did you fuck my fucking mom? Did you fuck my mom, Santa? Ah! And then he bites his neck.
Jesus Christ.
So now
All right.
we've got Wholesome coming back to the chat because Alex Foster's questions are next. And these are also our final 8 questions. We got 8 from Foster.
Foster, you savior. I know I tell you this probably excessively to the point where I'm going to lose you one day, but I love you so much, Foster, so much. What's the first Alex Foster question?
What is a wrestling headcanon / theory that you have?
Wrestling headcanon / theory? Oh, God. I feel like even very recently I would have been able to answer this for you.
Oh,
Um, yeah, because I've been thinking about, like, certain, like, wrestling stuff.
I have 2 that I want to share, but I want to go
Yeah,
after
please
you.
do, because I'm
Oh,
just gonna hem and haw
I'll
on this
go
shit.
first with the easier one, and then I'll let you go, and then I'll share my other one. Okay?
Sure.
So the easier one is that the Wyatt family were working for the Authority all along until that one Royal Rumble when Bray confronted Triple H.
Okay. That is true. I remember you having that one. Yeah, that's a good one. Um, God, I guess I really don't have any, to be
That's
honest.
fair.
It's yeah, it's kind of weird. Because yeah, it's weird that I've watched wrestling for this long, and yet I really just don't
You
feel
don't
like
even
I
have
have
any like, oh, I bet they did this because of this that you're just absolutely convinced of that's never able to be proven or unproven that you just are going to be
one.
convinced of?
I don't think so. I don't think
Because that's what
so.
my next one is.
What's your next one?
They literally invented the IWGP Women's Championship because Mercedes wanted a women's championship that was bigger than the red belt that she could win so she wouldn't have to work Stardom and she could be on New Japan shows. And they just made that for her and exclusively for her. And that's why it doesn't ever get fucking used anymore.
Yeah, I guess more in line with your second one. I've always had the belief that WrestleMania 20, the main event, was never supposed to be that triple threat. I've always been low key convinced it was originally supposed to be Benoit versus Lesnar, because when you look at the last few months of build up leading to January, I mean, Benoit had made Brock Lesnar tap out at that Survivor Series in the personal 5-on-5, and then in I think like early to like mid December, he got a title shot against Brock after beating John Cena that same night, had Brock beat, but they did a ref bump, and then Brock wins by pass out because that's when he debuted the Brock Lock. But Benoit never tapped out. I always thought they were meant to go at it again at Mania, but then word got out that Brock was leaving, and they shuffled all kinds of plans around. Eddie became the champion, and so that kind of changes the complexion of the SmackDown side. And Benoit, because he had that antagonistic on-screen relationship with Heyman, was like, "Oh, I'll use a loophole and I'll justify it by I want a clear path to the world title. I don't need to worry about management working against my interests." But yeah, I think if Brock wasn't leaving, I've always believed that the main event was going to be Lesnar Benoit, which I would have been very curious to see. I really like their SmackDown match. That triple threat's iconic, so I think it all worked out. And we got Eddie Guerrero as WWE champion, which I wouldn't trade for anything. So that's
Nice.
like one of my wrestling theories that I've always had.
Here's a good one. If you guys are part of the bloodline, what words or phrases would Roman ban you from using?
Based. That would get on his nerves so quickly. No, and face. Come on, man. You know.
Oh, for me, for sure. Face for me, without a doubt. Yeah, no question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the answer. It would be based for you, face for me. It might be face for both of us, honestly.
I definitely think for both of us, yeah. But then based, I know, like I do say that a lot.
All right, next one I think might even be more interesting. If you guys were opposing GMs visiting the other show, what potential problems would be caused?
Oh God, I mean, I'm a whole ass mess. He'd have to call security to kick me out of his show. Be like, there are
So
too
you'd
many
be like
grafts
getting
in
in
here.
physical front confrontations with people?
Oh my God. Well, dude, I've always told you my dream. In an alternate reality where I wasn't born with CP, I would absolutely use my fully toned body to its full potential by bumping shoulders with somebody in a crowded area, turning back and being like, hey, yeah, fuck you, and getting in a fist fight. I just one time. Just one time I want to be that asshole. Like I just need to know how it fucking feels. To instigate for no fucking reason. Like that is the life that I am meant to live. To be a fucking shit eating fucking prick that instigates for no reason. And I would absolutely do that on his show and be like, wow, How did you figure out payment mathematically? And like just bullshit things like, yeah, well, of course you're gonna do math to pay people. Really? I don't. And like obviously I'm the fool, but like, it's just I lean into it. So it's great.
Oh, I love that. I think my problem would be that I'm so ride or die with the people that I pick that even if it was like one of those drafts that we picked where I was like, oh, you really took people that I like, but I guess because of the people left on the board, I'll have to settle for this guy. A few months in, I would be so committed to my roster being the best that by the time I got to your show, I would want to go out there and bury everyone on your roster. Like I would just be like, "Oh yeah, you got Ricochet, that bald piece of shit."
And then when we're roasting each other, I would start to slowly admire how depraved you are and trying to win at all costs. And I'd be like, wait a minute, we're practically the same. Let's combine forces into a super show while tormenting everyone we don't like on our
And
payroll.
I'd be like, "Slow down, jackass. It's called WrestleMania. Wait for it."
Oh God, I'm so glad you said Jack because the first time you said that, I swear, I'm like, that's the one. That's his for life. You're just watching my show. Book a women's match, jackass. Like, yeah, like just I fucking perfect.
That's literally Tony Khan.
God, I have such a craving now to be a douche. Fuck. And I like all of you people for the most part, so I can't take it out on any of you. I'll find some of them later. Fuck.
Just go on X and harass Elon.
Yes, I'm telling you, I'm living the wrong life. I'm meant to be a piece of shit. This sucks. Fuck. Um,
Oh my
but yeah,
god.
I honestly, God. And then other times, I just know that I would just be a creep, not to the talent, but probably just to Ashton. I mean, you already put my scalp business out there, so I would just be like, hey, how's it going? And just kind of just making those moves, and you'd be like, don't really feel comfortable with this security. I'll be like, oh yeah, sure, kick me out. I'm gonna go back to my amazing show with all those ratings. You dipped last week. Yeah, well, God, somebody had to use CM Punk. Fuck. Because by then everybody will catch on to his fucking game. Piece
I'd
of
open
shit.
I'd open your show and just do 15 minutes of roasting of your roster.
Yeah. Oh God. And me, because I don't really like them either, I'd be like, don't cut his mic, let him cook. Let it happen.
Oh no. All right, next question. You ran out of milk and cookies. What do you leave out for Santa that he would be pleased with?
The safety of his life intact. How dare you come into my home? But I guess if I had to leave him something, um, no milk and cookies. Hmm. You know what? Maybe some eggnog and like some kind of chocolate based thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Well, I don't have eggnog. I would just leave water because it's healthier anyway. Lose some weight, fat
True.
boy.
Wow, sis.
Hey, look, I'm fatter than Santa will ever be. I can tell the joke. Okay.
I mean, fair enough, but like, man, the tone. It was like, what you think? Because you could fit down my chimney, you're better than me? Fuck you.
No,
Piece of
I
shit.
just unironically though, the only drinks that I ever really keep in the house are milk, water, and like occasionally sometimes soda too. And I don't think
Yeah,
Santa would be interested in the soda. So if I'm out of milk, he's getting water. It's just over.
yeah, bro. No, literally, our households are at least like you and I are so similar in that way because for me, it's milk, it's water, and occasionally, when we have like that frozen orange juice like in a can, we'll make like a pitcher of that,
Oh, that's a
and
good
like,
point. We could leave him hot chocolate. We have hot chocolate that we can make with water.
there you go.
That's a great idea, Mom. My mom came up with that one.
Look at
She came up with hot tea, but that led me down the hot drink rabbit hole, and we have hot chocolate we can make. So yeah, we would leave him hot chocolate, and I mean chocolate covered pretzels. We could leave him chocolate covered pretzels too instead of cookies.
wow, you guys single-handedly saved Christmas.
We really did.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness.
All right, next up, who this might as well be a question for you, John, because I am so out of touch with anything Dragon Ball Z related that I might as well have just not watched it at this point.
Oh
Who do you
God.
blame the most for Cell reaching his perfect form?
Um, Honestly, look, if we're keeping it real, because I already turned up a few questions prior, even though I still really have that craving. It's got to be Vegeta. I mean Vegeta, literal, and here's why I say that even more than Krillin. Krillin, you never count on that boy to do anything. Okay, that was the first mistake. So really, I feel like Bulma's even more blameworthy
I
than
mean,
Krillin. Why?
what could he possibly do? He's a human.
Exactly. Yeah, nice sheen on that fucking bald head, you fuck.
Bro, I
Um,
saw a video last night. Holy shit. This dude was up top of a balcony talking to a couple of his bald friends, and he was like, oh yeah, we're gonna have a competition to see whose head is the most reflective. And he had a flashlight in his hand, but one of his bald friends actually had a fucking flashlight under the table, and he grabbed it and shined it on his own head. It looked like a fucking headlight on a car lit up. Holy shit.
oh god. No,
It was
I
magical.
say that I say Vegeta because not only was he strong enough to beat Cell, at that point in the show, because it's one of my favorite scenes in the show when he emerges from the time chamber and Goku's like, "Oh, but Vegeta, I really think you should listen to Piccolo and Tien." Yeah, listen to the fucking mid characters. Great job, Kakadouche. And he's like, you would have had to triple your strength. And then Vegeta just laughs in his face. And Goku in that one moment is like, oh my god, I've temporarily been eclipsed. As a Vegeta fan, I cannot tell you how it hurts me that in this one instance, Vegeta was the strongest in the universe, objectively, and he squanders it. He should have killed Cell, gone back, killed Goku, but obviously at that point he had already started to reform because him and Bulma were getting busy, and baby Trunks and all that. But no, this was his chance to establish supremacy, and he was like, "Oh, but my Saiyan blood, like." I can appreciate the challenge that Cell's promising me. It wasn't a challenge, it was an ass whooping, you stupid fuck. God damn it. Why did you let it all go to shit? So yeah, Foster, to answer your question and to not get too far away from everything, Vegeta. And look, Ron Butter's like, oh, Goku, everything is Goku's fault. To be fair to him, okay? Like, he took responsibility at the very end, both by teleporting Cell away, even though he did accidentally give Cell instant transmission, and he decided not to be resurrected because he recognized, hey, everybody's coming to this planet because they want to fight me. So maybe if I just take myself out of the equation, that won't be a problem. So yeah, I'm gonna cut him some major slack. But yeah, Vegeta, god damn it, man. It was such an easy fucking win. How
Was
could you do
Vegeta
this
the
to
one
us?
that threw Cell the Senzu bean?
No, that was Goku. That was Goku.
And this was Vegeta's fault again?
No, I'm saying he could have stopped Cell because the question from Foster, right?
Right.
You have to
No,
remember what the
I know
question
what the
was.
question was, but I just feel like whoever threw Cell the Senzu bean is the main problem here.
Well, here's the thing though. The question was, who's most to blame for Cell reaching his perfect form? That Sensu Bean moment was after he had achieved his perfect form. So I feel like that doesn't really count. You see what I'm trying
Oh.
to say now? That's
What
why
I'm
I brought up
saying
the
though is that
question.
I didn't know that he had already reached his perfect form when the Senzu bean thing happened.
No, that's why I'm blaming Vegeta because the whole thing was he was kicking his ass when he was semi-perfect Cell, and then Cell was like, "Oh, but if I would have absorbed 18, you would have been nothing." You fucking oh my god.
Oh, so it was a
And
Vegeta hubris moment. I see.
exactly, he baited him. He's like, "If
He
you let me
preyed on
achieve
it.
my
He preyed
perfect."
on both of the protagonists' hubris.
Yeah, yeah. It's pretty genius, honestly, but he can go fuck himself. So yeah, the Vegeta absolutely. But next question from Foster.
Who is a hero who would be a terrible friend to have?
I mean,
Goku's
maybe
immediately
Goku.
a good answer. Yeah.
Yeah, because like I can't expect him to be around. And really, if our friendship isn't revolving around fighting and getting stronger, it's not gonna last. That's
Mm-hmm.
why him and Vegeta have been able to become friends from enemies because they spar with each other and they have the same spirit in this as far as combat goes.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, uh, just Goku would be horrible. You said actual hero, so I can't like be like, oh, Omni Man or something. It would be an actual hero. I think
I mean, along those
Batman.
lines, even then, like Mark Grayson would still be a bad friend to have. I mean, we see how he treats his friends. He doesn't exactly treat
Yeah.
them well.
No, Bruce Wayne, Batman would be awful too because
Uh,
it's like, dude, let the walls
I
down,
wouldn't
maybe
want
get
to be his
therapy,
friend.
maybe
Yeah.
think structurally about
No
issues.
thanks. Pass. No thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, do you have to put on the suit? every night? Like, what is going on over there, man? Like, what are you doing?
Moon Knight.
Um,
Moon Knight, the best answer.
yeah, there you go.
Because he doesn't even remember you sometimes. He doesn't know who the fuck you are sometimes.
Oh, and that just cuts the bone in a completely different way. It's like, oh man, I had a great time last night. Yeah, who are you? Oh, oh, oh man.
It's like, oh
Um,
man, I can't wait to hook up with you again, Mark. Who the fuck is Mark?
yeah. Was that his last question, or do we still have?
We
Oh,
have two more.
excellent, excellent. So what's the next one?
Penultimate question is, who is a villain that you actually think would be a pretty decent friend to have?
Honestly, Omni Man when he comes around, I would
Oh,
love.
no,
Yeah.
John.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
no.
Yeah.
He's a
I told
manipulative
you.
piece
I
of shit.
I told you I had a craving. I am indulging it, sir. I will gladly be like, so show me the medical and technological advances of this Viltrumite empire. And look, we'd have a montage. It would be a real fucking gas. Look, it's either him or Gaston, man. I think Gaston would also be fun to chum around with, especially, if I could keep up with him physically and drinking wise. I mean, I'm not eating all those fucking eggs. Like literally, what the fuck are you doing? But he'd be another
I
one.
mean, literally,
Um,
you just said like three things in a row that makes it sound like he just wouldn't be a good friend to have.
yeah. Look, we're trying, okay? We're trying. Um, hmm. Gaston, Omni-Man, a villain that would be a good friend to have. Villain, be a good friend. Well, it depends on how much gray your villain is working with, because there are those people, but I guess that makes them more of an anti-hero, not necessarily a villain. But
Who were you gonna think of there?
well, because sometimes I am sympathetic to villains' motivations, like Killmonger, because he had very
True.
a revolutionary kind of mindset. I'd be like, "Fuck yeah, dude, let's do it." But then he would take it to that next level, and it's like, "Oh, oh, I'm not
Not
so down
like
with this. Can we,
this.
maybe have a sidebar about Praxis?" Uh, God, Lex Luthor, because obviously I want to
Oh,
cozy up to wealth. Um,
oh, yeah, that's kind of a more extreme version of what I was gonna say because I was gonna suggest Kingpin.
Oh, dude, yeah. I want to look again. I know I have issues, and this is why I'm so glad fiction exists. Because God help me, I don't know how I would have turned out if I didn't have those outlets. But I want to be in the car when he puts a jacket over somebody's face and just fucking pummels it with his fucking fist. Because I remember those scenes from the show, and I laugh just thinking about it. It's fucking
Bro,
hilarious
he
to
covers
me.
the dude. I want to see the director's cut of Daredevil where you zoom out a little bit after he does that and you just see another dude in the crowd being like, "Bro, Wilson, that was fucking sick."
Dude, yeah, I would mark out like, yo, Fisk, you just inserted dominance, my guy. Way to fucking go. Like, oh my god, yeah, Fisk is a great answer, bro. I kind of envy you for coming up with that one. That's genius.
Well, especially too because like 98% of the time he actually seems like a pretty normal, decent dude. It's just that 2% being anytime he's challenged by anyone with any level of actual power over him, get ready because the fire is coming.
Um, you know what I'm gonna say, and I'm actually gonna give two answers here, both from comic books. And I know one's debatable, certainly far more than the other. So I'm gonna go with the debatable answer first, just get out of the way. Magneto. I know he hasn't always been
Oh yeah,
villainous, but he has
he's a
done
good
some
one.
villainous shit. I would love the deep conversations we would have about, what is one to do with a people that's displaced? Something that's incredibly resonant right now with everything going on in Palestine and other parts of the world. Um, and stuff like that. So I feel like yeah, Magneto would be amazing. I would fucking just love that friendship just for the intellectual stimulation alone. And then the other one for similar reasons would be Doc Ock. I'd be
Nice.
like, man, make me some fucking, fucking tentacles. Shit. Uh, fucking love that shit. So yeah, Magneto and Doc Ock. I think. Do you have any other answers you want to give? Because
I
I feel pretty
do.
good on my side of the table. You do? Have at it.
I'm trying to find a name here. Ty Lee from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Perfect. Perfect. Love it.
She was so adorable and so cute and sweet, and I'm not a bender, so what's she gonna do? Chi block me from not being able to bend? I want to hang out with her, man. She was always so cool. She was my favorite of. I mean, from a pure charisma and entertainment standpoint, it was obviously Azula, but I'm not trying to hang out with that crazy bitch. Jesus Christ.
I mean, maybe she could reform.
I mean, that's a lot of trauma to try and walk back, bro. Come on now.
Facts.
All right. So next, final question: if you had to make a Yu-Gi-Oh deck slash concept out of anything you wanted, what would it be?
Um,
I'm just
God,
laughing because I can't wait to find out what you come up with.
oh wow, that's a lot of pressure for no reason. Uh, yeah, I would probably do something similar to like Bastion Misawa's deck, which I feel like never got explored enough.
What is this?
This deck, Bastion Misawa's deck from GX. I would want to do something similar where like his deck seemed almost like chemistry based. Like he would have Hydro get on and Oxy get on, and yet those can bond together. For like a water dragon or something because it was H2O, and same thing for like the chemical formula for fire. Something like that. Obviously, I don't know how you work philosophy into a deck, so I think I would do something just more like scientific and maybe a bit of gambling in there because I actually do like gambling decks. I know when I did that like Yu-Gi-Oh website where you can like build decks and duel online, I did a very heavy gambling deck. I don't know, I was just kind of throwing. So I've always kind of sympathized with Joey in that way. So yeah, the scientific gambling hybrid kind of deck is probably what I would do. What about you? What kind of deck would you put together?
I think, I mean, dude, here's the thing. The question does specifically say that you can make it out of anything you want, right?
Right.
So I'm making a Yu Gi Oh deck out of Joshi wrestlers.
Whoa, that'd be dope.
Hell yeah. Because you remember how there were like those cards that were like, they had levels? Like there was like so and so knight level 1, so and so knight level 3, so and so knight level 7. And then like every turn, if you had one of them in your hand and you had like a lower level one on the field, you could upgrade it for free, basically.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
want to do that with Joshi wrestlers. Like I would have like Io Shirai 2009 or circa 2009, Io Shirai circa 2015, Io Shirai circa 2018, Io Sky circa 2023, and she's got like 3,300 attack points. You know what I mean?
God damn.
That's what I'm
I
saying
love
though.
that idea though.
Yeah, like it could. I mean, it's really easy to base real life shit or base Yu-Gi-Oh off of real life shit. So yeah, you could do a whole Joshi deck, and then you could have like certain cards. Like you could have like one card that's like, the training dojo, and that would be like the field card that would make everyone more powerful on your side of the field. You know?
Yeah. I mean, dude, fuck it. If you're doing that, I will just do a philosophy deck then, because I'm already thinking of certain
Yeah,
ideas.
hell yeah.
Play, play fucking Kant in defense mode, but then one of his cards would be the categorical imperative, and it's like, oh, now you can't lie because he always says that like lying, if you think about it logically and make it a universal law, like if everybody was permitted to lie, everything would devolve into chaos. So I would make the cards effect be you have to show me your hand. You can't lie about what's in your hand. So
But
it'd
I
be
mean,
like
I'm
a
pretty
hand
sure
of
that
your
card
card.
probably already exists, but you could just change the name of it to, or make a new card that has a different name that does the same thing,
Yeah.
so it fits your
Or
deck.
I could or I could do it where like every card that you like draw for the next like 3 to 5 drawing phases, like I have to see it before you even play it.
Yeah,
Or
that's
something like
that's
that.
gotta exist already, bro, for sure.
I have to imagine so, but again, like I've never been competitively into the game, so I'm just kind of riffing. Um but yeah, like yeah, I think a philosophy deck would be pretty cool because I love your idea of a Joshi deck, so I'm like, fuck it. If he's just doing whatever, I'm gonna do whatever. Um so yeah, that was his last question, you said, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, unless you have anything you want to add to that last question, I feel pretty good. So I think we can pack this in.
Because you gave an answer from the actual show and I didn't, I'll just throw one out there.
Yes, of
Um,
course.
yeah, so I think just based on season one, I'm not trying to get into any of the more fancy stuff from recent seasons, like the Xyz and the Pendulum and the Link Summons and all that shit. Just from the original show, I always really loved Weevil Underwood's decks. I always really loved his insect concepts and stuff. So I would probably
Yeah.
do something more along those lines if I had to pick. Really, that's kind of what the Joshi stuff was based on because like he had like the great moth or whatever it was, and how you had to like start out with a little caterpillar and then you gave it the cocoon, and then eventually it would like evolve into this great perfectly ultimate great moth or whatever, like,
Yes.
and then you had like the level 1 larvae and the level 2, or like you leveled it up, there were like a different thing for that too. So yeah, I would kind of want something similar to that with the Joshi deck, and that's just kind of what I based the idea on in the first place. So if I wanted to go with an actual real life Yu-Gi-Oh deck, just based on what I've actually seen of the show, because again, I've barely seen any of Xyz, or I guess that would be Zexal or Arc 5, and I haven't seen any of GX at all, or what was between Zexal and Arc 5, or and Zexal and GX, I mean.
Was it 5D?
Yeah, 5Ds. I haven't seen any of that either, I don't think. I'd like to. I want you and I to get to those once we finish. Like, I want us to get through as much as we can, basically, of the dub. Or, yeah, of the sub, I mean. But yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, just of what I've seen, that was probably, like, the coolest concept deck to me, personally.
All right. Anything else you want to say?
Nope, let's close it out here. Hope everyone enjoyed.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much for attending. I guess I'll just have this sidebar with you now, Ashton, because we already know that tomorrow we've got nothing, and I know we're not going to be able to fit Stardom in tomorrow because you and I have like extracurricular stuff to do. Obviously, we'll still be meeting up with our Discord 8 p.m.
Yep,
For SmackDown.
yep.
What about Saturday though to try and do Stardom
We can
again?
try. We can aim for it. We'll attempt it.
5 p.m. Or do you think
Four.
4 would be better?
Four.
4? 4? Okay. Um, then 4 p.m. Saturday, we're gonna try and convene together again for Stardom. So hope that that all works out. I don't even know if any shows are gonna be added between now and like then. But currently our match slate was 7 matches we were gonna react to
The
today.
only match
Um,
happening is the tonight Dream Queendom's happening tonight.
okay, yeah, and then that won't be up by Saturday. There's no fucking way.
That'll
At
be
least
up
I don't
like
think.
Monday, I think.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll try again Saturday at 4 and then 10:30. As you guys know, it's weekend review, which will be a lot easier this week because we did our backlog last week. So it's just about this week, which is a
Yep.
lot easier to manage. And then Sunday at 8, year
Year-end
end
awards.
awards.
Oh my god.
Just got a few categories left to fill in, and I'd like to flesh out honorable mentions for some categories, but we are almost there. So yeah, it's going to be a very eventful rest of the week. I do apologize for everybody that's gotten used to our starting reviews on Thursday. We did want to do them; it was out of our hands, so we're just trying to adapt accordingly. So again, that'll be Saturday at 4. I'm really emphasizing 4 for myself too, because my brain wants to say 5, but Saturday at 4, we're going to try and get Stardom all caught up there. So yeah, in the meantime, those of you that are part of the Discord, feel free to join us for our hangout during SmackDown tomorrow at 8. And otherwise, yeah, just Discord Friday, Stardom Saturday at 4, weekend review at 10:30, and year-end awards Sunday at 8 as we say goodbye to 2023 and say hello 2024. So thank you all for joining us. Please leave a like if you file out, subscribe to the bell icon for notifications so you don't miss any of that TWitWoW goodness. Check out everything we're involved in the description box. Follow us on Twitter and Twitch because we are the best wrestling podcast in all the IWC. And you already know our schedule rundown, so all that's left to say is thank you all for joining. You guys are great. Really love the questions. And yeah, I guess while we're on the subject, because it's quarterly Q&A, so next Q&A will be March 28th. So we will see you guys then for Q&A. Remember, if you're a patron, you can get up to 15 questions. And if you're a non-patron, it'll be what, like 9 questions, right? So
10.
yeah. Just be sure to get those questions in. The best place usually is Discord or YouTube. I'm gonna update my pin tweet because I realized I never did, but really I haven't gotten any traction on those pin tweets in a while. So I really just feel like Discord is the best place, and Discord membership is only $3. So please do consider that if you haven't. And yeah, that's it, guys. So have a great rest of your night. Be good to yourselves and each other. Tune in. Peace out.